Hello everybody and welcome to Roll Together RPG and to the Chronicles of Aeodrun, the next episode in our Awakening campaign. My name is Josh, I use he, him pronouns, and I will be your game master tonight. And you will see that I am joined by Sean. Say hello, Sean.
Hello, Sean.
There we go, see? I was hoping somebody, every time I say that nobody does it, so thank you for doing it. Before we get into tonight's session and an explanation as to why just Sean, we have some sponsors and supporters to thank. Our first sponsor is, or our only sponsor is Phoenix Dice, and our supporters are Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, Bearded Ladies, and Michael Dobson's character art. All of the links for those will be in the chat or in the description below if you are watching us on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, if you are watching on YouTube, please do consider leaving a like, subscribing to the page, and commenting down below. It helps the algorithm tell us what you like so we know what to make more of. Massive thank you to the D20 Club on Patreon. They are the best. You can find them for as little as one of your local currency per month. You can join them from, not find them, but join them from as little as one of your local currency per month by following the link in chat or in the description below. There's loads of little things that we're doing over there, so please do consider checking it out. You can also join our Discord if you'd like to chat about this game or any of the other games that we do. Again, links will be in the chat for that. And I think with that, it's time to jump into tonight's session. The day before the knock on the door happened, the knock on the door which saw Lucian's friend Cilia come barreling through with multiple stab wounds to her abdomen area before she was taken upstairs by Lucian and Elodie, we come to what Udric has been up to during this time. Now, Udric, it's been about a day. We've had everything that's happened. Everything that's happened with the rest of the group has happened. The whole discovering of files in Solomon's office, Solomon being taken by Kim Dak in a meeting. Lilla has been rather angry about it, but has taken on the sort of guildmaster duties as it stands at the moment. But you've not been really that present throughout all of it. So what have you been up to, would you say, during this time?
So last time Udric had any downtime, he spent a bit of time with Peripatea, dotting around and going to the shrine that Peripatea's friend worked at. And I call you, when you were narrating that, you said that the shrine had kind of areas dedicated to kind of the light, dark, and the four elements, but nothing for nature.
That's correct, yep.
Which obviously doesn't sit particularly well with Udric, given that he'd spent the last couple of years of his life immersed in it. So he's been slowly kind of... what he would have done anyway is he would have gone to the temple to ask whether there was an area that he could turn into a community garden, with the intention of kind of surreptitiously just making it a little dedicated area for nature, for the nature guardian.
Okay. So we'll start with that then. So you head over. Would you go over first thing in the morning, or would you? What time of day would you go over?
Udric is canonically an early riser because he's been getting up with the sun and, probably Yeah, I think he would have gone along as early as he thought was socially acceptable to go to the shrine, and just started work.
Awesome.
You know,
Okay.
maybe seeing if he could borrow some tools or bought some tools.
Okay.
Yeah, some plants.
Would you have told anybody other than the other player characters? Is there any NPCs around the guild like Rodney or Tally or Solomon's not there or Lilla that you would have told that you were going to do that, or would you just gone?
I'm not sure he would have told any of the other players. But in terms of the NPC characters, I think he's still a little bit wary of everyone. So he might have mentioned. I think he probably would have spoken to Tally, because he wouldn't have wanted to buy anything that they already had. But yeah, it would have just been Tally and maybe Rodney.
Okay, so we'll make it nice. We'll make it nice and easy, and we'll say that as you're going to leave, both Tally and Rodney are stood at the front desk area. Rodney seems to be has put a large pile of dirty plates on the side from breakfast. Sorry, from yesterday's dinner. So yesterday's dinner didn't get cleared away fully, and he's just picking up the rest of it, and he's plonked the plates down and stuff. And Tally's just handing him some stuff from behind the counter. You can see lots of sugary, sort of like plates and things that are covered in little bits of sugar. The cups and plates are more. The ones that are behind the counter are more wooden and not plastic, but more wooden. And they've got like little bits of paint and drawing on them. It's probably what Sunny's probably been fiddling with throughout the previous day. So she's given those to Rodney as you come down the stairs, and she just looks at you. She says, "Oh, Udric, off out. That's very early for you. Would you like some breakfast or anything?"
Oh, I'll always take and offer a breakfast. Just something maybe easy to take on the go.
Okay, yeah. Rodney, have you got anything prepared for breakfast yet? Oh, yeah. I've got. I could quickly throw you together a breakfast wrap if you'd like. It's just like a large roll with loads of like breakfasty bits in it, bit of bacon, bit of egg, and all that.
Oh, egg! Oh, it's been a while since I've had egg.
Yeah. Well, we've recently had that delivery from the farm that you lot all helped out with before. So I'll go get that. I'll go get that ready now. Thank you for giving me these bits, Tally. I'll get them washed up as soon as I can. And he picks up this large sort of tub and he goes off into the kitchen. And very quickly you begin to smell food being cooked as he's preparing your breakfast roll wrap, but also breakfast for everybody else who haven't come downstairs just yet. And Tally just goes, right, what are your plans today? Are you taking a job off the board, or are you looking to do something else?
No, I didn't. I wasn't sure that it would be. No, I had some business in the town.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I don't suppose you've got any like gardening equipment, have you?
I think we might have. Bear with me one moment. And she sort of turns around, comes out from behind the desk, walks down just past where the kitchen door is, and just on the right there's a small little alcove, kind of where the partitions are. Okay, you follow with it, yeah. So kind of close to where the partitions are that lead to the seating area where the fireplace is, there's a small little alcove to the right, and she walks to the end of that, and there's a small little cupboard that she opens out, and she walks in, and you can see all the cleaning equipment's in here. There's brooms, there's mops, there's buckets, there's feather dusters and all that sort of stuff around. And she climbs through to the back. I say climbs through, it's not that much of an obstacle course, but there's plenty of buckets on the floor. She gets through and she sort of bends down and rummages through and pulls out almost like a leather satchel, and you can see that it's one of those ones that goes over you like a side strap, and the satchel itself has got two holders on the left and right. One's got a like little trowel, and the other one's got one of those little forks sort of put in it, but they're facing down so they don't stab you in the side if it or anything. And then the bag itself seems quite heavy, and she brings that out and she walks towards you. She goes, "Oh, 1 minute," turns back and goes back into the cupboard, and you watch as she reaches around to the right side, pulls something off. You hear some clattering of some metal, and she comes out and she's got a large pair of shears. Right,
Oh.
yes. I apologise. They're a little bit rusty because we haven't had to do much gardening recently. But these are the tools that we have. I believe these are actually Rodney's tools from when he used to manage the herb patch outside. We don't manage it anymore. We buy in. But here you go, and she hands it all over to you.
Oh, much obliged. Look, now how are you holding up?
I mean, father being gone is a bit of a worry. Kimdak, I don't think Kimdak would hurt him, but it's still worrying that he's not around anymore, or at least not around at the moment. So I'm hoping. Sorry?
Has this happened before?
No. Kimdak's never taken father before, or refused to hurt him or anything like that. But
yes, that is obviously going to be concerning you.
it is concerning, yes. And father is very old, so I just hope that Kimdak won't kill him, but I'm just hoping he doesn't hurt him.
No, you know, you've been through enough.
Yes, well,
haven't you?
yes, well, Lilla's going to take over as the guild master, as you might call it, or the mercenary company master, or whatever the official title that my father has for until we're able to get him back. So I'm worried about her more than anything, because it's a huge responsibility for her, and she's very much used to being the lone wolf, as it were, going out on her own and making a name for herself. So I'm worried that the pressure might be a bit too much for her. But thank you for asking. It's very kind of you.
No, you know, I'm aware that you know, you've lost people in the past, and you know, it's never easy, is it?
No, it's always difficult when you lose loved ones. She just sort of stares off, not looking at you when she says that. She sort of just stares off, like sort of to the ground, and then she shakes herself and she's like, "Anyway, I'm going to get on with some of the jobs before everybody else starts coming down." You didn't
Sure.
say where you were going. Is it all right for me to ask?
Oh, just up the Semple.
Oh, okay. Oh, going to do a bit of gardening. Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be nice up there. If you happen to stop off at the general store on the way back, if you wouldn't mind grabbing some bits, would it be all right to give you a list of some bits to grab? It saves me having to go out. I've got to take Sunny to school, so I could always and pick Sunny up. So when I come to pick Sunny up, I could always grab the bits off of you, if that's okay.
Oh yeah, no, I don't mind. Yeah, anything perishable? Do you want me to nip out and come back? Or
Oh no, nothing perishable. All of that sort of stuff we're getting delivered. She looks at her wrist and there's no watch or anything on there, but she's like, soon-ish. But there's some other bits that we could do with from the general store. If you wouldn't mind grabbing it for us, please.
I think when seeing Tally like look at her wrist and like obviously expecting some sort of clockwork apparatus, and it isn't there. Can't like Udric's going to instinctively kind of do the same thing, and I'm accidentally going to cast Druidcraft to create a tiny little effect that predicts what the weather will be.
Okay.
It'll just kind of probably take the effect of maybe like a blotch or like a mystery liquid or something just on his wrist, so you know it's going to rain.
Yeah, so you do that. Tally doesn't notice it happen, but you look down at your wrist and you watch as to begin with, your arm feels a bit warm, or your wrist feels a bit warm, and then it begins to get slightly wet. And as you said, a little globule of water appears before it just sort of fizzles out.
Yeah. Warm in the morning. Patches of rain.
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh, I might have to make sure I get the washing in then. Actually, I might get Rodney to get that in because I put 3 lines out, so it's going to be quite high. Thank you. Definitely going to follow that instruction. Let me just get that list for you. And she sort of moves past you and goes back over to the desk, pulls out a notepad and a pen and starts writing down some bits that she needs from the general store. She tears the bit of paper off and folds it up into. She folds it up once, folds it up again, and then folds it up one more time, so it's like really tightly compact. And she hands that over to you. It's just a small list of items. She reaches under the desk and pulls out some bag, shakes it a bit, opens it, pulls out a few coins, then pulls out a few more coins, and then pulls out one more coin, and then scoops them all up and puts them into a smaller bag, and then hands that to you. That should be enough to cover all of the different items that are on the list. Thank you very much for offering to go get. You didn't offer. I asked. Thank you for agreeing to go get them.
No problem. It's on my way, isn't it? So
Okay.
anything I can do to help, just let me know.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. The shop should be opening just as you get down. Just as you get down there, they're quite early risers down there. They've got a lot of paper people that go around and deliver the papers locally. So, if you see Johanna on the way, say hello to her for me.
Which one's Joanna?
Johanna's the little girl from. You might not have met her actually. She's the little girl from the tavern. She's the daughter of the owners of the tavern, so she has a lot of babysitting around here. Yeah, the nice tavern. Yeah,
the pirate's jam jar, or whatever it was called.
Yeah. Oh no, the rusty pirate.
That's the one.
Now that you say jam, actually, I think.
I've met it.
Could I just add one more thing to that list?
Sure.
Yeah.
They can't all kind of carefully unfold it and pass over.
She passes it over and she writes down jam. Folds it back up and gives it back to you. I need to get some jam.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Strawberry. What other jams did you get?
There's strawberry. There's raspberry. I think there's apricot as well.
Well, world we live in.
If you just want to stick your head into the kitchen before you leave, or as you go to grab your breakfast, if you just want to double check with Rodney what type of jam it is that he wants, because it's for a cake or something that he's making. So if you just want to check with him before you carry on, then that'd be fantastic.
Gotta get me breakfast. So
okay, all right, thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Aye.
And she sort of carries on, goes back up behind the desk.
Udric kind of hovers for a second and then just tuts and walks away.
Oh. She reckons she notices the tut but doesn't think
it's
anything
more
of
at
it.
himself than at her, but I don't know what she would pick up.
Yeah, she picks up on the tut. She looks towards you, but not directly at you. She goes to look at you as you turn to walk away, and then she sort of goes back, so she doesn't query it or anything. As you go into the kitchen, you can see that Rodney has got this sort of foot-long roll on the table, on one of the kitchen benches, on a cutting board, and he's filling it up. You can see that there is he's put 2 rashers, so he's cut the thing in half, this roll in half, and he's put 2 rashers of bacon in each half, 2 eggs in each half. As you walk in, he looks to you and goes, "Oh, do you like sausage?"
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. He pulls out 2 sausages that are the length of one half of the roll, and he slices them both in half and then sort of puts them both down. Any sauces?
Sauces?
Yeah. Would you like any sauces? I've got the red sauce, the brown sauce, the extra brown sauce, 2 different flavors. One of them is barbecue flavored, I believe. And then I've got some lemon sauce, and I've got, what's that one there? That is mustard.
All right, I'll have the blood one and the brown one.
Blood and brown, right? Okay. Do you want them in the same one, or do you want one in one and one in the other?
Yeah, I'll have one of each.
Okay. He sort of puts a little bit in. He picks up that you're not quite sure, so he doesn't sort of like lather it in it. He just lightly puts it in, and then would you like mushrooms?
Well, they're safe mushrooms.
Yes. They're saved mushrooms. They've been freshly cooked for breakfast. So if you'd like, I've got some mushrooms. I could also put in a bit of this black pudding that I've got. If you'd like,
Oh.
It's acquired taste.
Yeah, no, I'll have that.
Yeah,
Wait,
okay.
You don't waste anything.
No, definitely not. I do have some bubble and squeak on, but it's currently doing its thing at the minute, so it won't be ready in time, unfortunately. But yep, he, instead of like putting, so for non-UK viewers who are listening at the moment, black pudding is like a circular item that goes on to a full English breakfast that's made out of various different parts of animals that you wouldn't normally eat, and packed with lots of blood. But so instead of him cutting it directly in half and putting like a half, and a half, what he does is he picks one up and he sticks it into a grinder, and he puts that down, squeezes it down into the grinder, and then closes the grinder and spins it. And you watch as the black pudding bits are sort of sprinkled along the top, more like a dressing rather than it being like a chunky thing that's actually inside it. And he does that on one half, the half with the red sauce on. And then the second one, he actually does just cut one in half, and he puts the 2 pieces in there. Let me know which one you prefer, and I can put that down in your eating file.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Sorry, there wasn't so much choice in the forest. It was whatever runs past you first.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I've spent some time in my life hunting in forests and stuff, so I can fully understand how there are limitations on what there is you can eat. That's the benefit of living in a town, I suppose, is you've got all of, especially a port town, is you get all of these different culinary things that you can try out.
Jam. What jam do you need?
Jam.
Jam.
You're going to get the jam. Okay, yes. If possible, I would like some strawberry jam and some apricot jam, please.
2 kinds of jam. All right.
Yeah, if that's okay. Yeah. Strawberry jam is for a cake I'm making. Apricot jam is for me.
All right. So I'll try and get enough strawberry jam for a cake.
Yes.
And the apricot.
Yes, please. Thank you. Do you need any more coin for it?
Oh no, Tally's given me enough.
Okay, that's fine. I'll give Tally some money back for the apricot at least, because that's for me personally. So, but yes, thank you very much, Udric. Right. Hang on a minute. What?
I'll have this one open, and I'll wrap this one for me lunch.
Okay, yeah. I was going to ask if you wanted them wrapped up, and pull some cloth out and wraps one of them up for you, and ties it up in a sort of like paper, sort of like the paper sort of stuff that you get takeaways in the real world, but it's more brown in nature, more like an American paper bag sort of thing. But he wraps that up nicely and puts napkins around it to sort of stop any juices or anything leaking out. And not that there would be, but just in case. And he plops that into a little wicker bag for you to take with you. He's like, "There you go." And then he hands you the other one, which he's wrapped only half of it up for you to eat now.
Oh, thank you very much.
That's all right.
I'll see you around.
Oh, yes, I'll see you around. I've just heard the delivery come, so I'm going to go sort that out, but I'll see you later on. And watches he takes his apron off, walks over to the wash basin, washes his hands, and then goes outside, and you can hear him talking to somebody outside.
Yeah, Udric's just gonna start eating his roll and head to the shops.
Awesome. So which roll do you think you're eating first? Are you eating the one with the sprinkled black pudding or the one with the unsprinkled black pudding?
I think the brown sauce one for breakfast.
Yeah. It's very nice. Although you've been here for a little while and you have had other food and stuff, so it's not like this is the first time you've eaten something outside of the forest. It's the first time that you've had something like this. There's something different about this to the food that you've had before, whereas before you were able to choose what you ate, so you might have been a bit, correct me if I'm wrong, you might have been a bit reserved on the foods that you'd eaten before. This is sort of something that's been prepared for you and just given to you, so it's got that different taste to it. And
also, like, from the village that Udric was from, like, it wasn't really a kind of trade center, so I think they're like definitely having two different types of jam. That's
yeah,
they're probably a bit novel.
Yeah, definitely. You'd have a lot of people come in through the town and stuff, like, but they never, or through the village, sorry, but they never stayed for long enough for like trading or anything to happen. So, you might.
I was trying to work out if Udric would know what an apricot is.
I mean, it's completely up to you. You can make a roll for it if you'd like to. I'd argue that you could have advantage with it because of the sort of nature of what your previous work was before being a soldier, being a farmhand.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
what
history.
Are we thinking, then?
History, maybe history or nature. I'll give you the choice of history or nature.
Oh, well, if I'm given the choice between the two, I will take nature.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, that is double fours.
Oh no. Double fours for
double four and 8.
An 8. You apricots are something that you have heard of in passing, although it's considered exotic from where you're from. It's maybe something that's not local to the kingdom that you're in. It might be something that's exported outside from somewhere else. That's about all you know.
Okay.
Awesome. So you eat your roll on the way. Now, would you like to go straight to the church, or would you like to go get the bits for Tally first?
I think knowing that it wasn't perishables, he probably would go to the shop first.
Okay.
Is a newspaper on the list?
Yes,
obviously,
there is. Yeah, there is a newspaper on the list. So you've been in this shop before. You had a bit of a run-in with one of the reavers in this shop. So you would have learned briefly while you're in there, while you were cleaning up outside and stuff, when that incident happened, that the paper that the paper people do deliver is the Merkstead Gazette, which is like the local paper. The paper that Tally has put down for you to collect is actually the Ostragos Gazette, which is a paper from the local paper from the city, which the Merkstead paper people don't deliver. So that's what she's looking for.
And that's the one that Solomon got before?
That's the one that Solomon got before, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Udric would have bought one even if it hadn't been on the list, but seeing it on the list, we'll just get that. Yeah.
Awesome. There's not many items on the list. There's the jams that you were asked for. There was a newspaper. There was a broom. The bottom part of the broom, the brush bit, one of those was asked for. Pick one of those up. There's plenty of those on the shelves, and a stack of notepads, which have freshly come into the general store, which Tally needs for behind the desk. So you're able to pick all of those up. The shopkeeper looks at you with a nice grin on their face. You can tell that they're very tired. have probably been up since the crack of dawn with opening the shop and stuff. As you've walked in, because of the time of day, you can see that there are a couple of children sort of there already, and some walking in behind you that have got these big, what are they called? Big leather bags that have got beautiful highlights on them. So they sort of stand out, sort of thing. And they walk in, and on the counter close to where you've put your stuff, there is piles of newspapers. And each kid walks up to one that has like a slip of paper with their name on it, and they take that newspaper. They walk over to a empty area of the shop where there's no customers or little stock around and stuff, sort of an open space, and they sit down and they start folding the papers up, and then they put them into the bags themselves, and they begin walking out. I have no idea why I went into so much detail with that, but it just memory started flooding back, so I thought I'd share. But you do see. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it occurs to me that I probably would have my bear cubs with me as well. So,
yes.
Is there any reaction to that?
So, both Tally and Rodney would have sort of stroked and said morning to them. The shopkeeper looks a bit concerned when you come in with them, but doesn't say anything. The children, the ones that walk in behind you, sort of like say hello to them. The ones that are already in there sort of jump when they see them, but then suddenly sort of you do get a little bit of a attention around the cubs, and they sort of say hello, and the cubs sort of like nestle into them and basically say hello back.
I do the dog owner thing of kind of like, yeah, they don't bite.
Yeah, and they sort of, the little cubs sort of get up on their little hind legs and sort of scratch at some of the children like a dog would and stuff, and they get a bit excited and jump around and things. And
gentle.
They look up at you and not in a sort of scared or obedient sort of way, but in a way that suggests that they understand what you're saying, and they don't back off, but they calm down, as it were, and go back to more nestling and nuzzling them instead. It seems that you're talking to them using speak with animals unintentionally, has created, and with your previous history of in the Grove and stuff, you've formed this connection where you can understand them a lot better. Then you basically don't have to keep casting it effectively. So, but yes.
And maybe just in addition to the list, I don't know, just something for, like, do you have just any meat?
I've got some packets of. I've got some steak packets in the chilled section. If you'd like some of that.
Yeah, I'll take some of that.
Okay. Right.
And we'll pay for that out of his own money.
Yeah, and gets you like a large slab of meat that's in a chilled area of the shop, which is very similar to the large chiller that Rodney has in the shop. And if you were to go up to it, you can hear a little bit of humming coming behind it from the magical energies that are sort of operating it. Magical energies and electricity that's operating it. Sort of like a combination of the two working together. But yes, you are given 2 raw steaks, which will come out of your money for, let's say, a gold piece, because I don't really like doing copper and silver because it's confusing.
Expensive meat.
Very expensive meat, but good meat.
The electrical / arcane device, does it look anything like the device that Carnan had encountered before in the water?
It doesn't look similar in any sort of way, but I think the thing that stands out for you the most is that this is only the second time you've ever seen anything like this. Nothing ever like this around in the village that you came from. So the chiller that Rodney has and this, coupled with the contraption that you saw in the lake in your one-on-one, are all alien to you, is the word I'm going to use.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Everything all right?
Do anything. Oh, sorry. I'm from a very small village. We don't, technological marvels.
Oh no, that's understandable.
What does he do?
What does that do?
Yeah, what's he do?
Oh, it allows us to keep meats and fruits and milks and stuff colder, so they last longer. Longer time for us to sell them. As you probably well know, if you kill something if you kill like livestock and stuff, you generally have to sell their parts, the pieces of them, quite quickly before they go funny. But with one of these marvelous inventions, you can hold them on for a little bit longer. Not much longer. It's only 3 or 4 days longer than what you could normally, but it's still...
No, but you don't have to go out and kill something every day. I mean, that's good.
Yes, pretty much. Yes, it allows us to build up our stock a little bit, or not us, but the farmers. It allows them to build their stock up a bit more. So, yes.
Well, world we're living in.
I know. Would you like a bag?
Oh no, I've got a bag actually.
Okay.
It's not a bag.
Okay, he takes the gold off of you and sort of talks to one of the children. One of the children is a darker skinned girl with I think I said she had red hair. Can't quite remember, but she has hair. If you haven't met her, yeah, if you haven't met her before, because I can't remember off the top of my head, but this is Johanna Rifsir, who is the daughter of the.
I can't remember for the mission when we went up to.
Yes.
Well, it was the bear mission.
The bear mission, yes. Thank you for reminding me. It's been a little while since we've done those, so it's hard to keep track of who's met who sometimes.
Yeah,
but
need to know which players played in which bits as well.
Yeah. But she says hello to you. Hello, Mr. Udric. How are you? As she's putting the last of the paper into her little satchel and picking it up and sort of struggling with it, and then slinging it over her shoulder. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And yourself?
I'm doing good, thank you. I've got to rush because I've got to get these papers delivered, and then I've got to do a ring around the town to get all of the children to take them to school, or some of the children to take them to school. I'm the designated helper.
Oh, well done, you.
Thank you. I'll see you later. And she rushes out of the door.
Does she remind me of my little sister at all?
100%, I would say. 100%. Yeah, she's got
Good.
that. She's got that energy about her. Even I think even for you, there might even be a brief flash of like as she's running out, as she goes to turn to walk away from you, you get that brief look of your sister the last time you saw her as she runs off, before it sort of like the image flitters and turns back into Johanna as she runs out the door.
Deal with that another day. Onward to the temple.
Awesome. You carry on towards the temple. Doesn't take long to get there. And as you get to the Church of Balance, which is the temple, you can see that the doors are open and there are two figures stood outside currently. One of them is holding a broom and is sweeping up the steps just outside. You vaguely recognize this person as someone that Perry has spoken to before, and the other person, they're both priestesses. The one that you recognize as Perry, someone that Perry has spoken to before, is wearing white robes. The other one next to her is wearing a combination of white and black, and she has a what they bloody called. I said what they were called a minute ago. A duster, feather duster, and is sort of cleaning the top of the doorway that leads into the temple itself as you walk up.
Good morning, folks.
Good morning.
So I'm Ildric, Garnon Ildric. I was here the other day with Peripete.
Oh, yes. And the priestess in the light robe goes, oh, yes, you're Perry's friend. Yes. Hello, yes. I'm Sister Stacylin. How do you do? You can call me Stacy, though. Friend of Perry's is a friend of mine. This is Sister Abigail. She's the head sister of the church, and as the other sister turns around, you can see that she is much older looking than Stacylin. In terms of human years, is probably in her 60s, although she's got the typical nun habit and stuff on, so you can't tell if she's an elf or human, elven or human in nature. Definitely not a dwarf because she's not short, and she doesn't have tusks or anything, so she's either human or elf. She looks to you, her eyes are slightly greying, and she's like, hello, Mr. Udric, did you say?
Garnon. Garnon's my family name.
Okay.
Ildric is mine.
Mr. Carnan, yes. Welcome to the temple, to the Church of Balance. If you'd like to come in, you're more than welcome to come in at any point to start your prayers.
Well, thank you. Actually, I had a little request. See,
yes.
I'm well, I noticed that you've got 6 of the Guardians represented.
Yes.
I was wondering if there was anywhere that people can go to worship. Your 7th, your nature guardian.
Ooh. Looks towards Stacylin, who just looks a bit nervous at that question. And Sister Abigail goes, Stacylin, would you mind going in and getting the school rooms ready for when the children come out? Children come up to the school, sorry. Yes, Sister, I can do that. It was nice seeing you, Mr. Carnan. And she walks off and goes into the church. Mr. Carnan, please follow me. And she leads you away. She leads you away from the church and towards more of where the marketplace area is. Bang smack in the middle of the marketplace is a very large tree with beautiful pinkish purple leaves that stick off of it. And she sort of stops in front of it and just looks up at it. It's a beautiful tree, isn't it?
Oh, it's very pretty.
Yes.
I don't think I've seen the colours in my life.
No, it's
on a tree.
I've travelled all over the continent, and I agree with you. I've never seen a tree with leaves quite like this. It's truly a marvel and a landmark of the town itself, and a true testament to the power that nature holds. Now, I understand your request. However, the Church of Balance cannot support a shrine to the Nature Guardian. It is a long story, tested history, strained history to do with elven culture. But that doesn't mean that this town doesn't deserve a shrine to nature. And if you would be willing to be its steward, I would say this would be a perfect place for it, wouldn't you? She looks up at the tree.
Oh yeah, it'd be perfect. I was going to ask actually if you didn't have anything, could I just do a bit of gardening? But no, I'd certainly. I would be honoured actually.
Yes, our current caretaker who looks after the church gardens as well as the garden around the tree has taken ill recently. So, I mean, if you wouldn't mind filling in for them, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Is it if it's not indelicate of me, would you be able to let me know if it's the illness? What are we talking, Nick?
I don't know. I've not seen him for He's been off work for just over a week now. I'm not quite sure what it is. We've had other sisters go and deliver soup and things to him, and he's currently staying at the infirmary. Dr. Carden is currently looking after him, so he's out for the foreseeable, as it was. But I hope there's no hard feelings with me declining your offer to have an area to pray to the Guardian at the temple. It's I'll tell you the gist of it. When the Church of Balance was formed by the Light and Dark Elves during a civil war amongst the elves, and the wild elves, the ones that are more in tune with nature itself, from the records, from the historical records, state that they did something bad, and that sort of didn't please the Light and Dark Elves when they formed the Church of Balance. So it's only in the past 50, 60 years that the other elements, the fire, earth, air, and water, were actually allowed in the church as well. It's been many from the history books, many thousands of years. It's been a bit of a grudge between them, as it were. So I'd rather not upset the higher ups by having a shrine to nature in or on the temple's grounds. But you're more than welcome to use this tree and the garden around it to your means.
No, of course. I appreciate it, and obviously, these things are difficult culturally, but it's not the Guardian's fault.
No.
Some bad decisions made in the past.
It's a shame that the Guardian has to suffer for something that was not within their power to adjust or overlook or anything like that. It is a shame. So, but I am one who likes to see in change, and if you're willing to open a small shrine to nature here and maintain it and maintain the gardens, and maybe even work with our caretaker when they come back, I can see. I apologize if this is too forward of me, but I can see by looking at you that you are an adventuring type, maybe.
Adventuring, maybe giving me a bit more credit, but certainly I've got some experience with living in the outlands.
Okay. Yes. So I wouldn't expect this to be like I wouldn't expect this to be your full-time job or anything like that. So as and when you're able to come and have a look at the gardens, please do. If you'd like to go see Ronald, you can. He's in the infirmary. Just ask for him, and you'll be led straight to him. So,
Ronald. All right.
Ronald, yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, good to get a bit of blessing by the original caretaker. But yeah, I'll certainly see if I can tidy things up in his absence.
Okay. Well, I will certainly leave you to it. Have a good day, Mr. Carnan. I will see you around, I suppose. And she sort of smiles at you and turns around and begins walking back to the church doors, where you see Sister Stacey standing in the doorway now.
Yeah, Udric will give a kind of a nod to Stacey and mental note to try and remember to tell everyone about Rodney, the caretaker, taken ill a week ago.
Ronald.
I say that 13 times, maybe I'll remember. What did I say?
You said Rodney. I think everybody might get a bit worried if you say Rodney got ill.
Yeah. Ronald. Cool.
As you wave to Stacey, she sort of waves back with a big grin on her face, and as the sister Abigail gets to her, you can see that Sister Stacey You can see that Stacey, because saying Sister Stacey, Sister Abigail is tongue twisting me. You can see that Stacey hands her a sort of parchment of paper that she sort of unwraps and nods at, and you can see they're conversing as they walk inside. Nothing untoward or anything like that. It just looks like it was maybe something to do with the school or something. Yeah. Normal business, church business.
I think Udric's just going to kind of, having nodded to them, and will just like put down his pack and start looking at what he's got to work with.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's kind of like a tree, and then there's like a surrounding area. Like, are we talking out in the middle of like a town square with like paving stones around it? Or
yeah, so you're bang smack in the middle of the market area, which is there hasn't been a town map for Merch They Go out yet, because town maps take a lot longer to make than world maps, I've realized. But in terms of the layout of the town itself, the Church of Balance and the marketplace sit on what would be considered the upper area of the town. So bang smack in the middle of the marketplace is this large tree, and the tree itself, there is paving stones and stuff, but there is a large garden area that has been sort of cordoned off for the tree itself. So you've probably got, trying to work out measurements in my head, but it would go 15 feet from the tree to where the cobblestone is, and then it's that circumference around the tree. And it's all partitioned off, and from what you can see as you're looking around, each area is there. Sorry, the different areas, math in my head, it's not just one concurrent garden that goes around. It is split into different areas that go around, 7 different areas for reasons. And you can see that there are different coloured flowers in each one. There's red flowers in one, yellow flowers in another, more greenish flowers in another one, and it sort of spreads around. They are heavily intertwined with weeds, and you can see as you sort of like move some bits around, you can see that the tree's roots are sticking out through some of it as well. The roots aren't solid root, so you can move them and sort of bury them under the dirt or anything if you want to. But yes, the garden is pretty much there for you to do what you wish. And around the base of the tree itself, it is just grass, and you can see what looks to be a broken bench, sort of in a prime position where it's looking directly up at the church. Well, the bench isn't looking up the church, but it's facing the church, so it's like a really nice view when you look at it, sort of thing.
I'm looking, and unfortunately carpentry is not something that is on Kana's sheet, but certainly I think some form of gardening should be doable. He's going to start with the one that the section that corresponds to nature. 'Cause that's in more dire need of a place.
Yeah. So for you, it's very, very quick to see which section represents which guardian, because they all have like the different colours in that would be sort of tied to the guardian. Other than nature, the one that is tied to nature has got a plethora of different colours and flowers, and it's less uniform than the rest, than the others. Still
Slightly more flowers, maybe, or
yeah, it's still kept as nicely as the rest of them, but it's just there's more of a selection of flowers in here. So you go to that one first, and there's a few weeds that you have to pick out, and there's a couple of flowers that look like some kids may have jumped in and ran around here, so you have to sort of prune a few of them and sort them all out and all of that sort of stuff. That you can see that looks to be a thing throughout all of them, rather not just centered on the nature one. You can see that there are 2 tree roots that are sticking out of the ground here as well. As you touch them, they're quite flexible, so they're they're not like rock solid and can't be moved. You can easily sort of push them down if you need to.
I'm not convinced he would. I think what he might actually do is try and pull them up further so that they would kind of naturally grow into almost like a pew or like a seat. In fact, I think I might push the bounds of my druidcraft and try and kind of, once I've got them into a position that I think they would grow nicely, kind of almost toughen them up with the druidcraft. And you know, obviously as I'm kind of working with the garden, just flowers are blooming, and I'm probably not picking it up, just thinking that's what flowers do.
Yeah, you do that. You have a fiddle around in the garden.
I never said that.
Boy, a few hours go by, and as time goes by, it's like one of those things where, you know, when they say you're having time flies when you're having fun, sort of thing. It's that sort of thing, and every now and then you get not interrupted, but people will walk past, and they will just say good morning to you as they walk past. Nobody ignores. There's not a single person that you would notice, because I think you've got quite a high passive perception, haven't you?
Not significantly high. It's 14. It's decent. It's not as mad as some characters we've had on the stream.
No, but it's quite high for common people walking past. So every single person that walks past you says hello. A couple of people stop and say hello, how are you? And you can have a few conversations with people. And when it gets to about lunchtime, you notice that Stacey comes out of the church, and she's got a silver tray in her hand with a jug of what looks to be lemon juice and a couple of cups. And she brings that over to you. She says, Mr. Carnan, I was wondering if you'd like a drink.
Oh, that would be very potentially. It's been quite warm this morning, but rain coming later. So.
Oh, okay, right. Well, I should make sure that the children have their raincoats. And she, is it okay for me to step over?
Oh, of course. My garden is your garden. I mean, to be quite fair, it's more your garden than it is my garden anyway.
Thank you. And she makes sure to step over at a point where two sections don't meet, because there's a grass patch there, so she makes sure not to stand on them. I should say as well, because I forgot to say it, that you do see Tally and Sunny. They do come up and they say morning to you, but it looks like they're in a bit of a rush, and because maybe Sunny didn't get ready in time, but they quickly disappear. And you didn't
Tally remember to take the
yes, on her way back she does go, oh, you managed to get those bits, thank you so much, Udric. You're looking after the trees. That's really nice of you. She takes it. Right. I'll take these back. I'll see you tonight, okay?
Just in case I don't remember, we need to tell the folks about the gardener. The regular gardener's ill.
Okay, what was his name again? It wasn't Rodney. Roderick. I think it might have been Ronald.
It was Ronald.
Ronald, right. Okay, right. Well, I'll I'll remind you later, okay?
Yeah. I think I feel like there'll be people who'll be interested in making sure that Ronald's all right.
Okay, right. I'll definitely let the others.
Conspirational nod, unaware whether or not Tally is actually aware of what the conspiration is.
Yeah. Okay, right. Well, I need to shoot back to the company, so I'll see you later on tonight, okay?
Sure.
Don't get too dirty. Give you a wink and runs off. And then
I think if Tally has said that, then at some point Khan taken his shirt off. So probably by the time Stacey's brought the thing out, he's kind of got the shirt wrapped around his waist and is just kind of topless up top.
Yeah.
We're going hot dad today.
Hot dad. She walks over and you can see she looks a little bit flushed as she stepped over, as we've sort of skipped back to lunchtime, and she places the drinks down on the grass, and she takes the jug and pours your drink and hands that to you, and it's ice cold in this heat. And she sits down on the grass, crosses her legs, and pours herself a drink and takes a sip of it and has a little look round. Oh, this garden's looking much better now. Oh, you've done so much work so quickly as well.
I've not really noticed. Well, we'll kind of take a sip and appreciates the cold water and gets out his lunch. I don't. I mean, if you've got a knife, I might have a pen knife actually. Do you want to share me lunch?
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you. I'm afraid I don't have a knife on me. I'm afraid.
Surely, come on, I've got a mess kit, so I think Carnan would have a knife. It's probably not a proper pen knife. For some reason, not kept it with him, but we'll kind of muddle through with like probably a soldier's mess kit knife.
Yeah. So you sort of cut that in half, cut a little piece off, and hand that over. Oh, thank you. Oh, takes a bite into it, and very nice. Sort of eats it and just keeps looking around. Oh well, how's Perry doing?
Perry's doing as Perry does. You know how she is. In all honesty, I only got to town a couple of days ago, so I've not had as much of a chance to really get to know Perry as maybe I would have liked.
Oh, okay. Well, you should definitely take the time to. Perry's a delight. You should, very, very nice person. So, taking a little bit of getting used to, but definitely a very nice person. So, but she just sort of stares off into the distance for a moment. As you can see that she's trying to think of something to say, but can't quite register.
How long have you been at the temple?
So I'm going to say about 6 months now, just over 6 months. I came to town at the same time as Perry. We both travelled here together.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
And where did you meet Perry?
We met in the... I've known Perry for quite a while, but not as she is current. It's a strange story. We met in Rose Chapel at the Church of Balance there. It was only a small church. Back then, she was going by the name Gwen.
Gwen.
She was a priestess of the dark side of would look after the dead, those who were dying and all of that, and sort out funeral rites and all of that sort of stuff. And our head priest asked us to travel down to Eldemire to go see some people down there. And on the way down, we were attacked by some bandits, and Gwen was injured quite badly. She was actually sort of shifts a bit uncomfortably. She was killed. Resurrection magic is not forbidden, but it's very difficult to perform for priests. But she was my best friend, so I had to try and do something for her. So I performed a resurrection spell that I'd read about in one of the head priest's books, but when she came back, she was different. She was how she is now, and refers to herself as Perry rather than Gwen. I'm not sure what happened, if I'm honest, but I'm just glad that she's back. She's still my friend.
All right, it sounds like you've gone above and beyond. A lot of people would, given the same choices and the same abilities, I'm sure, would love to do the same thing for their friends.
Yes, just keep an eye on her for me, please. I don't get to see her every day at the moment, so just knowing that somebody's looking out for her would would set my mind at ease.
Yeah, of course.
Speaking of Perry, obviously you work with the mercenary company. I've not seen Mr. Solomon today. Is he okay? He normally comes past just before lunchtime and goes into. I normally see him going towards where the graveyard is, or he goes into the graveyard, should I say? But I've not seen him today.
Josh, would Udric know whether Perry might share this sort of thing with Stacey already, or would? I think Conan's instinct is not to concern anyone about Solomon, but also if Stacey already knows, I think he would rather be honest if there was already a suspicion.
Yeah. So
I'm happy to roll insight.
Yeah, you can roll an insight. Let's go off of that.
Okay. It's not too bad. Nope. 12. Dice don't like me today. Yeah.
There, you can see that there is genuine concern on her face, and just trying to think of the way to phrase it. So, yes, there is genuine concern on her face. She doesn't seem to. She seems generally interested in where Mr. Solomon is.
Right.
You don't know if. You're not sure if Perry would have said anything to Stacey, even if you were sure, and if she would say anything, you don't know if she has said anything to her.
I honestly haven't seen him myself this morning.
Oh, okay. Well, that's just let him know that the flowers that he normally asks for are still sitting in the church. So. He normally comes up to the church to grab some flowers and then heads into the graveyard. So yeah.
He's probably just tied up somewhere. I'm sure it's fine.
Probably, yes. Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. And she finishes off her roll, and you hear a bell noise coming from behind. It's not the bell that's on the church itself, but it's a bell coming from behind the church, which is where the school is. Yeah. So, lunchtime is over. Right. All right. I best head back to class. Thank you for the lunch. That was lovely, and I love the work that you're doing here. So if there's any sort of help or anything you'd like for it, please do let me know. And as she stands up and picks the tray up, her drinks have all been finished and everything, and she sort of pops her leg back over the fence and begins to walk back to the church. So if there is anything you want to say to her, you can.
I think seeing her leave, he'll kind of turn. He's not going to kind of watch her walk away or anything. We'll just kind of remember that he's also got the meat thawing away in his backpack to give to Ruxpin and Kissitha.
Yeah, they're still with you. Stacey didn't pay much attention sort of to them because they weren't paying her any attention. They've been more on the grass area near the tree, sort of hovering around the tree and sort of playing with each other. They haven't caught scent of the meat in the bag. But,
so you're saying she didn't bear witness?
Yeah, she didn't bear witness to them. My boo card is somewhere. I just did boo. I think you probably go for another hour and a half after lunch, and that's when you get sort of like hit in the back of the head by some raindrops. As rain begins. Okay. Yes, bad guys.
Reavers are coming. Okay.
But yes, it begins to start raining.
Okay. I think. I don't think a little bit of rain is going to put him off. Obviously, there's only so much you can do in the rain, so we'll try to maybe tidy up some stuff under the shelter of the tree, rather than in the sections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tree itself is massive, and the leaves on it do form quite a nice canopy where in sunlight it provides almost perfect shade underneath it, and in rain it provides a moderate amount of shelter from getting wet. You still get the odd raindrop that comes through the leaves, but you're able to move up the garden a bit more to the section where it is under there. And you just carry on working. It gets to the end of school. You don't see Tally come up to the school, but you do see Johanna wearing basically a high-vis vest, but made out of leather. It's made out of leather with sort of like fluorescent cloths sort of sewn into it to make sure that she stands out. And she comes over to, oh, hello, Mr. Udric. I've come to pick some of the children up from school. I think Sunny's one of them. So I'll see you at the guild hall later, I reckon.
Oh, I mean, if I'm around, I might just keep on working here. If I'm honest, this is all I got on today.
Okay, that's fine. And I'll see you soon. And she runs off, and 10, 15 minutes later, you see that she comes back, and she's got like quite a horde of children with her, and they're all wearing the same sort of jackets, which are sort of like more tiny, smaller to sort of fit. Some of them are quite. Some of the waistcoats or high-vis coats are a bit big for them and do drown them out a little bit. But as they walk past, you see Sunny, and Sunny goes, "Hello," and turns to a friend, little orcish boy with a black hat on his head, and he goes, "All right, that's my friend. That's my mummy's friend. That is." I don't know why he sat in the garden getting wet, but yeah. And they carry on walking. And those bears are really cute as well. And the little boy goes, "Oh, that's cool. I'll have to show my mummy when she gets back." And they carry on walking.
I will keep walking. I'm not keep just on working what I'm doing. But
yeah,
I acknowledge them, but I'm not going to be. This seems to be normal practice in the town for the kids to just go about their business, even though there's bloody reavers around everywhere. So.
You haven't seen any reavers today, actually, which is peculiar, because normally there's some sort of ruckus or something happening in the town, but there hasn't been anything today. As it gets towards the end of the workday, you're still working away, and you'll notice Sister Abigail comes out of the church and begins walking towards you. She's got an umbrella open. She opens an umbrella as she gets out of the door, because, bad luck inside, and sort of walks over to you as the rain is now started to get quite heavy. And she stops, and she just looks at you and goes, Mr. Carlin, you've been out here all day. You've done an amazing amount of work. Stacey told me that you'd managed to do all of that other section over there, but it seems that you've done nearly all of it. It's truly fascinating. Thank you very much.
It's nothing that I wouldn't have done, on the farm. It's just tricks of the trade, I suppose.
Oh, which farm? Well, whereabouts are you from? I
mean, Udric would obviously know. Sean has completely forgotten.
That's fine. The village of Eldermire.
Eldermire, that's it. Eldermire.
I know Eldermire very well. I've travelled through there numerous occasions when I've been going to and from Abercathis.
Recently?
When I want to say about 2-3 months ago. It's a shame. It still hasn't quite recovered from the rising, but
the rising.
Yes. Sorry. Oh, you must be from. Oh no, you said you were from. You must have been up north when it happened. The rising was army of undead rose up and began fighting.
I fought in that war.
Oh, you did. Oh,
yeah.
So you're a veteran. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you've not been able to go back home since?
No, I mean, it's been a difficult couple of years, hasn't it?
It's definitely been a difficult decade. Yes.
A decade.
Yes, the rising happened 10 years ago. But the war ended 10 years ago.
No, it was just like 2-3 years ago max.
No, it was definitely 10 years ago that it ended.
10 years ago.
Yes. Sorry that you didn't know that. I apologize.
Was he still not recovered?
No, there was a lot of the Eldemire was the, as you know, being from there, it's the town that's closest to the border with the Volthiri desert, and the undead were unable to reach the Abercathis forces to get into the desert. So Eldemire was hit quite hard by the undead as they couldn't push past.
No. No, that hadn't reached me.
I'm so sorry. Do you have any family?
Yeah.
Maybe you should reach out to them to see if they're okay.
What do you even say after 10 years?
I always find that hello is a good start. If you've not contacted them, then they might think you're dead. Getting word that you're alive might bring them some joy.
And maybe they're better off thinking that.
I'm sure that's not true. It must have been were you already serving, or were you one of the ones that was called up to serve?
I was conscripted.
Then I would speaking to you as a woman of faith, and as somebody who lost family myself to the Rising, I would try to reach out, or at least establish if, and I'm sorry to say this, but to establish if they are alive or not, and if they are, to let them know where you are and that you're okay, and that the receiving that letter can change someone's life.
Just out of, just a hypothetical question.
Yes.
If you happen to have some news that someone who didn't make it, or do you pass that on and all? How do you even say that?
I think it is the Rising hit everybody hard, and as you were one that was conscripted, there were a lot of people that went missing during the battles. Any information that someone may have on a loved one, on someone else's loved one, I think might bring them pain, but in the long run might give them a sense of closure as well, because they have the final answer then. It's difficult.
But, I mean, we're talking about a war against the undead here. There are worse things than, I'm sorry, they didn't make it, if you get my drift.
Yes. And in that case, in that instance, not telling the whole truth can protect them. And as a woman of the cloth, I did not just say that. She sort of smiles at you and looks, and you can see that there are a few tears running down her eyes, combination of a little bit of rain as well, even though she's got an umbrella, as some of the rain is blown into her face and stuff while you've been talking, but you see there are some tears running down her eyes. But just be sensitive about it is what I would advise. But definitely try to get in contact with your own family. You can go down to the local postal service tomorrow. I think it'll be closed now. She looks up at the sky. I think it'll be closed. Oh, actually, she doesn't look up at the sky. She looks at the Church of Balance to see the clock. I think it'll be closed about now. But if you were to go there tomorrow, you could send off a letter or something to your family. and see if you get a reply.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Right.
you've been out here all day and you've done a fantastic job, but I'm going to have to insist that you go home now before you catch a cold.
No, I'm fine. I've lived through this.
You can always come back tomorrow, Mr. Carlin, but please, I insist that you go home.
Right.
I thank you for all of the work that you've done, and if you'd like, I could get a small shrine prepared for you for when you come back to place for the Harvest Huntress.
Oh, well, you know, I appreciate you've already done enough. Just letting me, you know, you work here, and I know that there's contradictions there for you. So don't stick your neck out more than you have to for me. You know, a pile of stones will do. Doesn't have to be.
I definitely like to do something, so I will work something out.
All right.
But please go home.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you
for your words.
Thank you. And as she heads back in and the doors to the church close and the sun begins to set, you make your way back to Solomon's Mercenary Company. And as you enter into the main area, everybody, or most of everybody, is sort of sat around the table eating and talking. You hear the back door open, and Rodney walks out there, and you hear Rodney talking to someone, and you can hear the voices of Bram, Perry, Hera, and I think that was it actually. Yes, Bram, Perry, and Hera. You hear their voices as they begin coming in from the back, and then as they walk in, they're carrying these large rat-like creatures on their backs that seem to be oozing this sort of same purple energy that the bears are. Just as you hear a loud thump, thump, thump on the door. That's where we're going to take a short break. We're going to have a quick short rest, so we will be back in 10 minutes. Look out for all of the trailers and things that we have going on in the break. Go grab yourself some drinks and do all of the other short resty bits that you might want to do. Roll some hit dice if you really want to, and we will see you in a little bit. Bye. Welcome back, everybody. We have taken our short rest. We've found out what Udric got up to during his time away from the group, and now we are coming in to find out what our next two characters got up to during a very small little break. I shall let them introduce themselves right now, starting off with the next person below me on my Zoom thingy bob. Nat.
Hi, I'm Nat. I use she, her pronouns. I'm playing Elodie, who also uses she, her pronouns, except when she doesn't. And when other bird creatures take over, they have their own pronouns. What else do you need to know? Is that it? She's a blood hunter.
Yeah.
I guess. And has been doing a lot of research.
Lots of research, which we might find out a bit more tonight, possibly.
Good. I need more notes for the conspiracy board. By the way, since the last episode, the last episode where we were in, there has been an actual conspiracy board created.
And there's lots of stuff on the conspiracy board, and I'm looking at it going, "Oh, I can't believe they worked that out so soon." And other bits where I've gone, "Oh, they're so far off the mark." So we will see where that leads. Next is Mike.
Hello, I'm Mike, and I'm playing Lucian, and we both use he, him pronouns. And Lucian is doing everything in his power to stay off that conspiracy board. I have no secrets. I have nothing.
You have so many secrets.
I am just a man that likes punching things.
Just a punchy guy, you know?
Yeah, just a punchy guy.
Doing all of the things to try and stay off the board, but in doing so, have made yourself go right to the top of the board because of it.
Mm-hmm.
I know nothing.
But that makes you a mystery that needs to be solved. Hence, on the board.
It's a puzzle piece. Anyway, let's get on with today's session. So, we come in with Elodie and Lucian the night of somebody knocking on the door, and somebody bursting through the door, and falling on the floor in a pool of blood, as Lucian's friend Cilia has been stabbed multiple times and sort of comes barreling through the door. Party members that are not here do not get involved because that makes it easier for roleplay purposes. But Rodney comes over along with Tally to check that she's still alive. Lilla does what Lilla does and sort of walks over and pokes her with her foot. And, yep, still alive. And then just walks off. And Tally's like, oh, okay, right. I mean, there's a lot of blood everywhere. We're going to need to let's get her up to my room. And then, because my room's bigger and I've got healing supplies up there, so we can have a look and do that. Rodney, do you mind? And Rodney's like, oh, okay. And he kneels down and he scoops Cilia. He turns around first before just scooping her up face first. Scoops her up and goes to walk upstairs. Does anybody know who this is? She's very clearly unconscious. She's not dying, but she's unconscious. Well, she could be dying because she's been stabbed, but in game terms, she's unconscious.
When she came through the door, when it happened, did she call my name out or anything? I can't actually remember.
No, she just collapsed on the floor.
She just collapsed. Okay, well, Lucian's going to, run past them first and, I'm going to check nobody's followed. So, someone's just been stabbed and fallen through the door. I'm going to check if there's nobody. I don't know where it happened. So quickly check that there's nobody that's followed or that's trying to come and finish the job or anything like that.
Awesome. Make me a perception check as you look out of the door, please.
A boop. Oh, a natural 20.
Oh.
That doesn't happen very often for moi.
Natural 24.
For a 24.
Okay.
Nice.
Hey. So with your natural 20, as soon as you look out of the door, it's dark outside. You notice, you can see the blood trail that Cilia had sort of brought up with her, and that leads all the way down to the end of the sort of slope that leads up to the mercenary company and carries on into the town, pretty much as far as your eye can see. So it sort of disappears around a building near where the tavern is as you're looking out, because the streets are quite well lit and stuff. So you do notice, as you're looking, a couple of hooded figures that are watching with a natural 20, watching from the shadows in alleyways dotted in the nearby streets. And as you look over and almost clock dead on with their gaze, they slink back into the shadows and disappear.
Do I run and punch them? Do I run and punch them? No, I'll shut the door and bar it.
You shut the
I
door
want
and bar
to
it.
go punch them, Josh.
I might give you the option at some point.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, and while Rodney is picking Cilia up, what is Elodie doing?
I think as soon as Tally has said, I've got some healing supplies upstairs, Elodie has absolutely volunteered. Oh, yes, I'll come and help. I have some basic knowledge.
Okay, good. Yes, I could use all the hands I could get. Looks at Lilla, who rolls her eyes and goes into Solomon's office and shuts the door.
Is there, Solomon's office, which is still a little bit chaotic after our investigations, I imagine.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we need bringing up? Can I help at all? What can I do?
Would you mind actually going to the kitchen and getting a large basin of water, please?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And Rodney looks at you and goes, there's a large washing up bowl underneath the sink. I don't normally use it because of how big the sink is, but fill that up with some of the steaming hot water and bring some of the rags up as well, please.
On it. We'll scuttle off. We'll use that time to check in on the pure ether that she made. The last we saw was rattling in the fridge.
Oh, yes. You can still hear it rattling in the fridge. It's not rattling as much as it was when you first put it in there, but you can still hear it's a bit like a phone that's just gone off. It's going in the chilling container.
I have no time for you now. Behave yourself. We'll come back for you later. People need our help.
Grab all of the bits and you head upstairs. Lucian, are you heading upstairs as well?
Yeah, I'll bar the door and then sort of, was there anybody else around? Or are we same for this point? Oh, I'm going to pop my nose and check the back door of the kitchen.
Mhm.
Is that shut and locked?
That's shut, yeah.
Cool, then I'll head upstairs. And Lucian loves to be like locking all the windows and stuff as he goes like up towards where Celia is.
Yeah, so the actual stairway that leads upstairs doesn't have any windows either side of it because it's in sort of quite central to the building. But as soon as you get upstairs, you can, or as soon as you get into Tally's room, which is considerably larger than everybody else's room, it's got its own ensuite bathroom. There's a large four-poster bed. There's a large dressing table with one of those big circular mirrors, loads of paperwork and everything. There's a full-on desk in one of the other corners with loads of paperwork piled up on it and stuff. And you can see that there's lots of cupboard space around as well. And as you walk in there, Elodie would be putting the hot water down on the dressing table, which is closest to the bed, the closest surface to the bed that isn't the floor. And Tally would be walking over to one of the cupboard spaces, climbing up a small ladder because she is a dwarf, and opens it out and pulls out a load of healing things, or loads of herbs and a couple of what look to be medicines in bottles and things, pulls a bunch of those out and walks over to the other side of the bed, climbs onto the bed as Rodney places Celia on the bed. And a blanket has been put down so it doesn't ruin the stuff underneath it. And Rodney goes to start taking Celia's clothes off and then sort of steps back and goes, I don't think that's my job. Tally. And Tally's like, yes, no, both of you two, points to Lucian as well. You two go outside. Elodie, would you mind helping me
We can
with
take care of
this?
it, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Is the
Rodney walks-
window and the curtains closed in this room? Because if not, I'll close them before I leave.
The window is slightly open a little bit to let a bit of a breeze in, and the curtains are open, so you can walk over and quickly close those before you're escorted out by Rodney. And the door's shut behind the pair of you, and Rodney stands there almost like a bouncer. Like, right, so we got to stop. Nobody else is allowed in, but once Elodie and Tally are finished, we can go back in and check to make sure that she's okay. Do you know who she is?
A little. Yeah.
Okay, right. Well, I best go downstairs and make sure that everything's all right down there. So would you mind standing here for a moment?
Yeah, I'll see. Lucian looks just a little bit uncomfortable and sort of like sort of stands, looks to both sides and just like starts messing about with one of his cigarettes in his hands.
And Rodney heads down the stairs. As he gets to the bottom of the step, you watch as he takes his foot off, as he takes his, I think it was his left foot, off of the last step and places it down on the flat surface. You watch as he stumbles slightly. He's like, oh, okay. Looks around and he reaches down, and you watch as he lifts his trouser leg up. You can see that there's a massive chunk of his leg missing. Not quite like, he's not an amputee or anything, but he's just got like a massive part of his leg missing. And he reaches down and there's this big metal contraption in his leg, and he pushes it down, and you watch as it retracts, and he pulls out this metal small circular metal thing from his leg, and you can see there is a gaping hole left, and it gets to the point where you can actually like see part of his bone from his actual tibia, I want to say. And he reaches around behind where the desk is and pulls out a stick, probably one of Solomon's walking sticks, and sort of walks with that and goes in towards the kitchen area. Elodie. Oh, sorry.
No, it had just been a stand watch.
Elodie on the inside, Tally begins gently moving away parts of what looks to be patches of leather armor and clothing. Won't go into detail with all of that sort of stuff, but what you discover as you've removed all of the clothing is that this person has been stabbed 5 times, twice in the abdomen, once in the upper left shoulder, where the collarbone is, once in the right arm, and once in the left leg.
Interesting. Do they look like... So they're not all close together?
No. Other than the 2 on the stomach.
I don't think she's going to get analytical about it straight away, but we'll probably clock that at least, so it's not like a quick sort of panicked stab. It's placed. But I think as she's helping, she will sort of brush this woman's hair out of her face as she's helping with removing the armor. Why did she come here? She must... No one owned up to knowing her.
I've never seen her before. She's not a mercenary who works out of here.
Well, good, I suppose, that she knew that this was a safe space.
Yes,
and as she's kind of... I think what it is like she's got the cloth that she'd been dabbing over the face, and then as she's removed the armor and her hand has touched around near the collarbone injury, but has actually touched the skin rather than the armor or the clothes or the hair. I think in that sort of wish to help and wish to heal, not really consciously, I'm going to cast Healing Hands.
Ooh, okay.
So Elodie does it kind of without thinking. And she heals for... I mean, it's not much, but it's 4 HP.
Okay.
There's like just a little warmth and a glow that Elodie will sort of, as she's touching, just go, oh! Huh.
Tally picks up on that. It's like, oh, okay. I didn't realise you're able to do that. That's handy to know.
I've done it before, but I didn't do it intentionally. Okay. Elfroot?
Yes, Elfroot, bung it in here, and she hands you over one of those pedestal and mortar things. Grind that in there, and then I need you to pour. And then she points to a bunch of different sort of like antiseptic liquids that she's got in jars.
Mm-hmm.
Pour a few of those in. We're gonna make it into a paste, and then we're gonna. She looks over this person and goes, I'm really sorry, this person's still unconscious. You might feel a little bit of pain in a minute. I'm sorry. And she basically tells you to mix all of these different things together and grind them down into a paste.
We'll do so. Yeah.
And as you finish doing that, she's like, oh, brilliant, thank you. She's been dabbing the woman's head down. She's now wearing a basic, not nightgown, because that would cover over all the stab wounds, but she's got basic cloths.
She's got her
things
shift.
covering. Yeah. And Tally takes the thing off of you, takes the pedestal off of you, and
the pestle.
right, that's the one. That's what I meant. It's too hot. Right. We're going to need Lucian for this next bit, I think, or Rodney, whoever's outside.
All right, I'll go find them.
Okay.
We'll open the door, and I guess you're still immediately there. Oh.
Yeah, just...
Okay, that was easier than I thought. Tally needs you. She's decent.
Grunts and walks in. He goes over and sort of like moves some of her hair off her face, almost like he like looking at her face, and then, hey, you wanted me?
Right, okay. This next bit, I don't know how the reaction's going to be, but Elodie, I need you to hold this person's legs down, and Lucian, I need you to hold the rest of them down, please, without applying pressure to where the wounds are, if possible. I need to put this paste into the wound in order for them to clot and heal properly. Some of these wounds are quite deep.
Right.
So you both
Braced.
hold down. I'm going to need, as Tally begins sort of packing each of these stab wounds with this stuff, this does bring Celia out of consciousness, and she does start screaming and sort of trying to get up and get away from everything. I am going to need strength checks from both of you, please. I will allow with advantage.
Of all the things to ask Elodie to do.
Strength or athletics? Athletics is probably the better one.
They're both just as terrible for me. Although, with advantage, I rolled an 18 for a 17.
Ooh.
That's very good. 23.
So as she tries to kick her legs, Elodie, you're able to hold her down, sort of pin her down a little bit. You have to put a bit more weight on than what you were expecting. Her legs are quite strong, but you're able to sort of hold her down. And Lucian, you place your one hand on her shoulder that hasn't been stabbed, and one hand sort of down by her side, not close to where she's been stabbed, but you sort of hold her down in one place, sort of rest your arm down as much as you can to try and sort of pin her into position. And she's frantically looking around, and then she looks at you. And what sort of face are you pulling at the minute? As her eyes lock eyes with yours.
It's he's. I don't know how comforting it is, but he's just got like it's okay eyes, and then sort of like a yeah, just like a settle down. And he probably even says like, it's okay, settle, steady, and just sort of says like very like sweet, surprisingly smooth words for what anybody's ever experienced from him before.
She registers, and the wildness in her eyes dims out, and she comes to her senses a bit. She's like, okay, Lucian, right, okay. And she looks over towards Tally, who's packing her wounds, and is like, you could try being a little bit gentler with that, as a bit more is being stuffed into one of the stomach wounds. Thank you. And you watch as she sort of passes out again and goes back to sleep. Or just passes out, because two different things. But yeah, eventually Tally finishes what she's doing. What she's done is, as I said, she's packed the wounds with this herbal paste stuff, and she begins dressing each of the wounds individually. And stomach wounds, she'll put lots of dressing over that. She'll ask for both of your help to help lift Cydia up so that she can do that. And then she places Cydia, as you place Cydia back down, Tally pulls the covers over her. Right, that's the best that I can do. Would you know that I'm pretty proficient when it comes to stab wounds? Helps with when working in a mercenary company. Thank you, both of you. I'll keep watch over here and here tonight if either of you would like to go to bed.
Well, where would you sleep?
I can sleep on the floor. It's fine. But Lucian, she seems to know your name.
Yeah, that's because we know each other.
Okay, well, that's fine. As long as she has a friendly face, when she wakes up, I can come and get you.
Yeah, that'd be great. And keep that window and the curtains closed.
I will. Okay.
He takes a deep breath and then goes, oh, and he'll wear her like leathers and stuff just like cast to the side while they were doing the patching up and the sort of initial sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I think Elodie would have made sure that they were carefully placed. They wouldn't have been thrown on the floor.
Yeah, they'd be on the chair, sort of draped over the chair where the dressing table is. So you could easily go and have a look at that stuff if you wanted to.
Just pat them down to double check if there was anything connected / important not to be left on its own.
Going through, I'm not going to make you roll for this because you've known Celia for long enough to know where her hidey holes would be in her clothing.
Oh yeah, like the small daggers and stuff. I'll be like, yep, that sounds about right.
Yep. Don't know why these weren't used, but okay. And you find one of the hidden pockets that she would have in. So she would have worn one of those almost corset-like leather bits that go around the midriff area, and round the back part where the strings tie it all up, just to the left of it, of where the strings tie up, there are two little hidden pockets that would be obviously up against the back. So you put your hand in there and you pull out a small little squared piece of paper, but there's nothing else there. It's blood-soaked as well.
Could you help me a second, Elodie?
Oh, yes, certainly.
I can't really see this because of the blood. Could you read it?
Oh, yes, yeah, absolutely. It's I guess later in the day. I'm assuming there's enough light in here. There's candles and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So as you open it out, it's like somebody soaked it in blood for a good 10, 15 minutes sort of thing, and then folded it up and put it away. So as you open it out, there's a lot of the words have not, because obviously blood isn't like runny. It's not like water, is it? So it's had an effect on the words that makes some of them hard to work out. But you can see that it is less of a letter and more of a sort of bullet point list, and you can make out the names instantly of Reavers. So you get the words that you get are Reavers, crying, not involved, something else, and then gang.
Okay.
The rest of it you could probably decipher if you were to spend a lot of time sort of looking at it. You could probably reconstruct the other words.
It's a little bit smudged and it's quite hard to tell. I mean, obviously this is her personal possession. I don't want to feel like we're prying, but I'd probably need a bit more time but it's about the Reavers.
No, absolutely, and we are totally prying. Just so you know that it's just someone. Well, Celia has just fallen through the door, and
Absolutely, we want to make sure they're not following her.
Yeah, exactly. But
I was going to ask. Oh, sorry.
No.
I was going to ask if you, having known her, if she was the type of person that you would expect to. And I don't mean judgment by this, I mean in the same way that we are, I suppose, likely to find trouble, or whether this is an unexpected turn of events for her. I'm assuming it's the former.
She's very good at finding trouble, but to be honest, in the group of people that I've met in the last, 3 days, I actually think you guys are better at finding trouble. But beside the point, no, she's very good, but she was specifically looking into certain parts of the Reavers, as far as I was aware. So it's most likely connected. It just depends on who she pissed off.
All right. Again, please don't take offense at this. I was just trying to figure out if this was like us, someone who had gone investigating, or whether she was a innocent civilian on the street. So it's good to clarify.
Celia, innocent, no, but on our side, yeah. As long as you've got a fat pocket of gold, you'll be alright.
Good to know. Well, at least she knew the right place to come. Do you want me to put this back or continue to look at it?
Well, I mean, I don't. When does someone that's injured this long? Generally, the people I've met that get injured that badly are just left to die. So I don't really. How long is she going to be asleep for?
I mean, she should be having a proper rest, I suppose, before she even touches that armor to put it back on. So I can take a look in the morning.
Yeah, I know. Let's have
A day full of information.
Yeah. I'll stay up and I'll keep a watch. I don't know if anybody's going to come back and finish the job.
Well, feel free to let me know if you need more assistance.
And then I'll go flop down at the door, and just spark a cigarette and just sort of sit and wait.
Oh, you shouldn't in here while she's not well.
Oh no, I'm outside the door.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take up a perch outside Tally's room to keep
Still
a
a bit
watch.
rude in the corridor.
He just ignores you.
What's Elodie doing? Are you going to go to bed, or is there anything you'd like to do?
I think there's been so much information today between her research that she's been doing in the books, between the research that she was doing with the ether and distilling that, and then between raiding Solomon's office and the revelations in there. This is still the same day. Yeah, she, I think, is a bit knackered and needs to go sit in a room where there's, I mean, it's never just her, but she needs to go and sit alone and just kind of, she's probably going to journal and just sort of try and get some of the chaos that's happening in her head down on paper to try and start processing some of it. But will probably fall asleep quite quickly, I imagine.
Okay, so you go into your room and shut the door. Lila's not in here at the minute, but yes, what you say, you fall asleep very quickly. And you can hit the long rest button for Elodie if you'd like. For Lucian, being sat where you are, eventually you watch as everybody else begins going to bed intermittently. And Lila's one of the last ones to come up. And she looks at you sat on the floor. You're going to get piles sat on the floor like that.
I have a very firm ass.
I have nothing to say to that doesn't come across rude, so I'm going to go to bed. She walks into the room and opens the door. Oh, bloody hell, she's asleep already. All right, I've got to be quiet. Shuts the door and goes to sleep. There is something that I could do now. However,
yeah, just make this day even longer.
However, I feel that this day needs to end.
These people are just tired.
If it ticks over midnight, technically it is the next day.
Technically it is, yeah. So I will allow both of you to hit the long rest button while you are resting, Lucian, and eventually fall asleep. Could you roll me a perception check with disadvantage?
God dang it.
Because you're sleeping.
Oh, that's a 17.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
What is going on? I want to play with Nat on all the time now, please. Thank you.
Good luck, Chuck.
Just me and Nat, because apparently that's the only way I roll well.
So, over the course of the night, you're not sure. Eventually, you do fall asleep sitting down at the door, like in and out sort of sleep. And at one point, you hear a door, one of the doors creak open, and you open your eyes and you can see two little ears, and these, because all the lights are off, and like bright yellow eyes, like cats have when you sort of flash a light at them in the dark, looking at you, and you sort of drift off to sleep again and open your eyes, and that little figure is a little bit closer to you, and you drift off and open up, and that figure's a little bit closer to you again.
It's the cutest Slender Man.
Basically, until eventually you do that open, and Sunny is right in your face. What? Why are you in the? Why are you in the hallway? Why aren't you in your bed?
Why aren't you in your bed?
I asked you first.
You have some sort of like, all right, well played. And he sort of like taps the sort of the seat next to him, so for it to come and just sort of like flop down.
Give me a minute. One second. And she sneaks downstairs. And about 10 minutes later, she comes back and she's got 2 plates with large slabs of cake. And she plops one on your lap and sits down where you said to sit down and starts eating the cake with her hands.
How many slices did you get through before you came back upstairs?
2
All right.
plus 2.
I believe you, but you're the one that's got to live with the fact that you might have lied to someone.
It's not lying if they don't know about it.
I feel like this is not a lesson that I need to teach, so...
Then don't teach, just eat.
Thank you. You could have brought some whiskey up with you as well. I mean...
What's whiskey?
Doesn't matter.
I'll look for it next time. How do you spell it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Quite a long word.
Have you been in the kitchen lately?
Not since we put that weird rattling thing in the fridge.
Oh, that's not me then. That can just hear that weird rattling thing then.
No. Maybe don't touch it. Probably not the smartest thing you could do.
I almost did. It was too high up for me to get to, but it was making a really loud noise, so I went
I
and...
believe I'm the one that thinks that. Anyway, yeah, don't touch that, and maybe stop raiding the fridges when there's weird experiments and stuff going on in the kitchen, and maybe we should invest in a lock. Multiple locks.
Oh, there was a lock. I unlocked it.
Clever little kid.
I didn't say that. I think I need to go back to bed.
No, you're right.
Night, Lucy! And disappears.
Good night. And hey, just for a little while, don't go outside in the dark.
Okay.
I never saw you do it. I promise. But I know that swing is pretty fun. So maybe just while all this trouble's going on for your mum, just take a break.
Okay, I need to be better at sneaking.
No, you need to be... I
Yeah.
can't talk.
The door shuts. And we'll now eventually, I suppose, get to the next day. Everybody else is...
I didn't have something to punch. As soon as I was like, give me something to punch Josh, and you were like, a child. I was like, no.
Anything but that. I will say, in the morning, Elodie will be up early and will have started the day by looking at the piece of paper.
What, the folded up bloody piece of paper? Yeah, okay. I will get you to roll me an investigation check, please.
Sure. Whoopah. 19.
19. Now roll me a D4 or a D2. D4 and half it, please.
Okay. That is a 2 for a 1.
Cool. It's going to take you an hour to decipher this.
Okay.
Fully,
Okay, cool.
with a 19. So, after spending the hour in the morning, which fits perfectly because while you're deciphering this during this hour, Tally opens the door and says, "Oh, Lucian, your friend's asking for you." And then
He stands up and goes in.
stands up and goes in. That door shut. While you're looking at that, all of the other players go and do what they're doing for the day. So we skip through potential bump-ins. With you, Elodie, the note says that the Reavers are not the only ones that control the underground of Merkstead. There is another group known as the Crying Beggars. I might not use all of the words that I gave you before, just so you know. There is another group known as the Crying Beggars. I think they're onto me. They have had people tailing me for the past couple of days.
Ah, okay. Is that the underground, like, capitalized, like, the underground? Or is it,
Yes.
like, the underground is in literally a place underground?
No, underground is in, like the dark web sort of thing.
Bitcoin.
Yes. More.
Lovely. I think they've had people tailing. Reavers are not the only ones controlling the underground. There's another group called the Crying Beggars. I think they're on to me. They've sent some people to tell me. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. As soon as she's clocked that, we'll sort of fold it up and then also grab one of her fairy tale books and head out into the corridor towards Tally's room. And seeing that Lucian is not in the corridor, we'll knock on the door.
Knock on the door. As you walk over to knock on the door, Lucian, as you're led inside the room, you see that Celia is awake, but is a bit like you were last night and is in and out of it. She was asking for you, so I thought I'd best get you.
Right, maybe check your pockets before you leave for anything missing, just as a friendly heads up.
I've got everything in my pockets, I think. And she goes, "Where are my keys?" "Oh, they're over there." And she goes over to the one of the tables to pick up the keys. "Thank you. I'll leave you two to it." And she opens the door. This is just before Elodie gets there. Opens the door and goes downstairs and interacts with the other players. So you're left in this room on your own with Celia for about 30 minutes before Elodie comes and knocks on the door. She's just looking at you.
So you got caught before you could bring them for me to punch. That's rare.
Yeah, no, that wasn't my intention. My intention was to bring you some information and then point you in the direction of the people to punch. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. The usual way of taking control of a situation isn't working. So I don't know if we're ever gonna get it right this way. But you getting hurt is not part of the plan.
I don't think we were ready to take control of any situation yet. There's still so many factors of this place that we don't understand.
Well, this is the thing that's pissing me off. There are all these people bending each other to their own wills constantly, but not even in the big bullshit ways like the Reavers. There's like all these people downstairs hiding all these secrets and making these big announcements of their past and how it's connected, and they're all wrapped up in some crazy web. And they keep insinuating that we're connected somehow, which obviously is bullshit, but...
What, you and I?
They've got nothing to do with us yet. We've been dragged in. Well, you got yourself and then got stabbed and dragged upstairs here. But you know what I mean.
Yes. It's just be careful when you go out, when you go outside, okay? There's a lot more going on here than what we're being led to believe. There's Reavers aren't the only ones.
Well, apart from Solomon and the mercenaries.
I mean, if you were to split things into factions, there's, from what I've discovered, there's at least 5 factions in play within the town.
This information sounds expensive.
I think with the work that your friends did, I think that's payment enough, don't you? I'm still here.
It does. So, who've we got? I've got the Reavers and Solomon.
Yeah, that's 2 of them. Then we've got
Imperium or whatever they're called. Some fancy pants group from miles away.
Yes, that's 3 of them. We've got the Imperium, which, from what I've discovered, seem to be might be working with the Reavers. So they're separate entities, but joined, but allied, if that makes sense. Then we've got Solomon's, as you said. Then there's another group called, I can't remember what their name is now. Something, I can't quite remember. Then there's, I can't remember who the last ones are.
1 second, and he goes into his sort of like top pocket of his waistcoat and pulls out a flask and like unties it and then just like hovers it under her nose so she can like smell the whiskey. I'll get your memory back.
Okay. That's some really strong stuff.
Yeah. Takes a swig and then passes it to her. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
I think at this point you'll get the knock on the door from Elodie.
He looks at Sylvia. It's your room currently.
Let them in, I suppose. I don't know who.
I'll go open the door.
Oh, good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Better than her.
Enthusiastic. Okay, well, I have just, she's just going to walk into the room, but kind of looking down sort of in her own head. Well, I have managed to decipher the note a little bit more. And also, I wasn't sure if, I know sometimes when people are unconscious, it's nice to read them stories. So I've brought this if you wanted. Oh, you're awake. Hello.
Hello. You're the other one that helped me yesterday. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Elodie, nice to meet you. I'm glad you're awake.
Thank you. My name's Celia. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Well, I didn't interrupt anything, did I?
No. Hopefully, us rifling through all of our shit, hopefully might help jog a memory.
Okay.
Oh, we went through all your stuff.
Sorry.
That's fine. I would have expected you to anyway. There was a note that I had on me that I managed to shove in my pocket after I got stabbed. So I apologise if it was covered in any blood.
Just a little. It's fine. I managed to have a little. Whose note was it? No, it wasn't your. You didn't write it.
I wrote it. Yes, I wrote it to give to Lucian.
Right. Okay. So you already know what it says, so I don't need to.
I think so. I'm not quite sure. It says
Are you all right? Can I kind of go over to her and pop the book down on the side and sort of have a little look? I guess just like see how her wounds are healing up and whether it looks like in the focus in last night in the focus on the stab wounds, does she have any head traumas as well? Anything that might have affected her memory or her processing or anything like that?
Yeah, make me a medicine check, please.
Sure. It's not great. That was a 12.
12, perfectly fine. As you put the stuff down and go over and sort of do the general checks that you would, you watch as she winces in pain as you get around to the base of her neck on the right side. And as you have a look, and both of you can see this, as you pull her hair up, you can see that there's a small bruise right at the base that goes up into her hairline. And as you lift it up a bit and sort of pull some of her hair apart so you can see like her scalp and stuff, there seems to be a bruise that goes all the way up the back of her head and potentially up to the where the soft white bit is there. On the, is that the crown there? The crown, yeah.
I'm so sorry. I will try not to touch. I will. I'll let Rodney know that we should try and get some, I don't know, cold towels for you. That must be quite painful.
Oh, yes, thank you. That'll be very kind.
Go ahead.
What did the note say? It might, as Lucian said, it might help jog my memory.
We'll sort of look at the two of you. Well, the Reavers are not the only ones controlling the underground. You think there's another group involved called the Crying Beggars?
That's yes, Crying Beggars, yes. Right.
Okay,
So,
and you thought that they were onto you. Do you think it was them that assaulted you last night?
I think so, yes. The Crying Beggars are the ones that hold the books that you were you'd asked about, Lucian, and they were the ones that were haggling with the Reavers, sorry, to try and sell them. I did what we agreed, and I tried to get one or all of the books. I think I got one of them. I did. Did I? I think I did.
There were no books on your person when you arrived.
No. No, I was able to...
Did you stash it?
Yes, that's what I did. I stashed it. Although I can't remember where. But I have one of the books. I know that. And stealing that book is what caused this to happen. She gestures to the wounds that she has.
Do you remember much about the incident? How many people did they sort of just come out of the shadows, or did you see them following you?
I can't remember what they looked like because they were all covered up. There was
Presumably they weren't crying out loud.
No, or begging. There was four of them, I think. I think there was four. There was two in front of me, and either one or two behind that I couldn't. I don't know. It just happened so fast as I was walking up from the dock area. And then
Did you leave it with Crag then?
No, I've not seen Craig for a day or so. He's been doing a lot of work at the Rusty Pirate. He's been working as a bartender there, so I've not had a chance to go and see him lately. But I could have gone there after I got stabbed because it was right outside it, but I felt it was more important to get you the information.
Yeah, well, that book turns out to be even more important than we thought. Also, that doesn't mean you get to put the price up. We agreed.
Okay, yes, we agreed a price, yes.
but we desperately need those books.
What was the book?
Those books are Perry's past.
Oh, yes.
They're notebooks.
Yes, that would be useful, please.
Yes. Well, I was hoping I could get hold of them through our friend here without too much drama and, well, just give them to Perry. And also, it would be nice to be on Perry's good side, so it would have been a win-win. But after what we found out yesterday in Solomon's office, he's up to no good, and those notebooks seem to have something relevant in them. But the positive is we've got one. The negative, we don't know where it is. Also, we're all in a lot of debt to her. He points to Celia.
Oh, okay. I mean, the point of being here was to help earn money. I don't know how much we've earned a little bit from the job so far. I don't know how much debt we are in, but I don't mind.
It's a lot. It's a lot of debt.
Oh, okay.
It's going to take a while.
Well, maybe as much as we are concerned about Mr. Solomon's entire intentions, maybe once we manage to rescue him, he will be able to help with that, given that it all seems to be connected.
Yeah, I've seen as, from what I understand, he was hiding those notebooks from Perry before they were taken from them, and then, sure.
He has a lot of explaining to do.
Yeah.
How long... I'm sorry, it seems that, obviously, some of the folks here have been here a very long time, and some have, like myself, arrived recently, but how long have you all been in town?
Yeah.
You were in the reception the same day I was, looking for a place.
That was essentially the day I arrived.
Right. So you've not really had time to set up, I don't know, secret drop places. I don't know, what do you call them?
Drop points.
Oh, okay, I wasn't far off.
Quite far off, no. You seem to have a knack for this. No, I was in the process of scouting out areas that I could have as potential drop-off points if I couldn't get here to Lucy. But...
Sorry, Lucy? Sorry.
Only my
carry
friends
on.
call me Lucy.
Noted. Sorry.
Please.
Sorry.
But I hadn't confirmed any yet.
Oh, okay, so we literally have no idea where to start. That's good.
At least from what I can remember. You could always...
Yeah, right. We'll get you drunk a couple of times and you'll figure it out.
I reckon...
I don't advise that in her state of injury right now.
I reckon if a few days rest of my memory might come back to me.
Well, do you know where you were when you did the thieving?
I was in what they call the underground.
Right, yes. The Reavers are not the only ones that control the underground. Is that
Yes.
like a specific place, or is it like a dark market? I know we literally answered this question, but Elodie doesn't know.
Yeah. You asked, but Ellie didn't. Yes, it's like a dark market, like you said, like a black market where items are sold.
But like a place.
Yes, the auction itself was held underneath that shop that hasn't been open for a while. That Goggle Springs. There's an entrance out the back that leads to the basement area, and the basement area is quite large and extensive. Almost leads to. Apparently, if you go too deep, it leads to some sort of underground not
So-
structure, but chasm that's underneath the town.
So theoretically, you could have stashed it anywhere along the route between Goggle Springs and here. Or in Goggle Springs itself?
I don't know, because Goggle Springs is on, and I think at this point, because she said quite a lot that she shouldn't technically remember. So what I'm going to say is, at this point, Tally walks in and has heard some of this conversation, so she'll answer some questions. She walks in and goes, Goggle Springs is on one of the main roads, the road next to on the road that the tavern, that the Rusty Pirate sits on the corner of. And then Celia goes, but I was stabbed on the street coming up from the docks. Tally goes, well, that doesn't make any sense then, because in order for you to get to Goggle Springs, at least the back entrance, you have to go down one of the side alleys in between the buildings. There's no other way to get to them. So you would have had to gone from the main street in order to get there. So that would mean, what were you doing down at the docks is the question.
Drop point.
Lots of places around a dock to hide a book. Are you the kind of people that have waterproof oilskins? Or waterproof treasure chests?
Not anything that I could have got hold of, only been in the town for a few days.
Well, then it must be above ground, above the
Hmm.
water. I mean, that's still a lot of places to search, but it's ruling out a big area, I suppose.
I reckon if we let this young lady rest for a few days, I reckon a couple more memories might come back to her. A couple of days in game time is probably going to be about another 10 episodes. Shade on myself. But yes, if we let her rest for a little bit, memories might come back.
The problem is we need that book, and now
It is rather crucial. Some of the memories in it might help us with leverage against Kimdak, or might help us with understanding the wider picture of what's going on here, because there are so many things.
A lot of different things, yes. Some of the others have headed out and done one of the jobs on the job board for the moment, and Udric is looking after the bear cubs at the moment. But I think that might be enough questions for today. So I might have to kick both of you out for the moment and let this young lady get some rest. Maybe come back later tonight to ask some questions.
We go
All right. Well, you can
for
have...
the
Oh, sorry.
blood
Lizzie.
stains back to the tavern. Don't know.
Oh, sorry, you were suggesting that as a course of action?
Yeah, go to the scene of the crime, investigate the attack. I don't know. Is that what people do?
Oh, you want us to go outside?
Yeah,
Where all the stabby people are?
they won't stab you because I'll punch their faces in.
Okay. Yes, I suppose so.
And to be honest, you can shoot them in the face.
Oh, well, I don't really want to
Although,
do that.
like, you know, I'm not gonna decide where you shoot.
In the middle of the town seems a bit, uncouth. And also, weren't you the one specifically telling us not to attack the Reavers?
Totally past that point.
I suppose so.
I tried that, and every time I asked them not to do that, they did the total opposite.
Well, in our defense in the woods with the bear cubs, we tried not to, and they attacked. I'm
No,
conscious
and
this
to be
is still
fair-
right in front of Celia, and I'm like, Celia, you rest. I'm going to leave my book here if you want to have some gentle reading. There's some nice stories in there. Maybe we'll bring you some cake later.
Thank you. Oh, cake sounds nice. Thank you.
Oh, I'll send Rodney up with the cake and those cold towels.
I think there is a rat problem, as I think all the cake was eaten last night.
Oh, that is frustrating.
Or maybe a cat problem, but I'm not too sure.
There's no... Lucian, there's no cats in this building.
I can see. I'm not sure.
Maybe we need to leave more jelly beans out for them.
On top of a trap. Anyway, do you want to go look at the stabby place?
Not really.
Come on then.
As you both head out of the door, using the natural 20 that you'd rolled previously to look out the door where you spotted the blood, you see that there is no blood on the floor at all.
Interesting. Did it rain last night? Anything like that?
Doesn't look like it rained last night. The ground doesn't seem damp or anything at all. That's just as bad as saying moist, but it doesn't seem that way at all.
Well, all the blood's gone. That's a good start.
Okay, Josh, is this... I know we're going for sort of slightly more Victoriana steampunky. Is the street here cobbles, or is it like dirt street?
The pathway that leads up to the mercenary company is more slabs that have been placed down, sort of like rounded slabs that have sort of been patched together with dirt in between, and then the streets of the actual town itself were cobbled.
Well, I wouldn't know where to start tracking.
Just head to the pub.
Which is opposite Goggle Springs.
Well, there's a couple of alleyways in between, but yeah.
A couple of alleyways we're definitely not going down. Just the two of us, though, right?
No, but a friend of mine always said if you imagine yourself as the most scary thing down the alleyway, nothing will bother you.
Oh. I mean, I'm not, but I know people I can call on who can be.
He sort of slides his flat cap on and sparks a cigarette and sort of starts walking.
As you both start walking in, just as the door goes to shut, you hear Rodney from the kitchen go, "Sonny, what are you doing? Sonny, get out of there, Sonny!" And then you hear as the door bursts open to the kitchen, and Sonny runs out of the kitchen, goes to run upstairs, sees Lyda at the top of the stairs, and darts and bolts past the pair of you out of the door, holding something in her arms.
Whoa. Can we go for a grapple-y check?
Yeah, you can as she goes to run past you, can definitely you can either make it a athletics check to literally just pluck her out of the sort of as she's running, or acrobatics to keep pace with her and get her to slow down, sort of thing.
Well, I'm built for this, having brawler.
Yeah, I mean, my acrobatics isn't amazing, but I'll give it a go.
I feel that I should roll for her. D20.
16.
Oh, great. Dirty 20.
I mean, I only rolled a 12, so both of you, combination of doing this, Elodie, you keep pace with Sunny to begin slowing her down, and then Lucian, you just come in and sort of grab her by the back of her top and just lift her up off the ground, and she starts wiggling away. Get off! No! And you can see that she's got a very small box in her hands that, as you listen, is making a zzz, zzz, zzz noise.
Where are you taking that, Sonny?
I wanted to look at it. I was going to take it to my room, making weird noises.
Did you ask anyone if you could touch that? Did you ask anyone whose it was?
No.
Were you specifically told not that long ago to leave it alone?
Maybe, but as I said, it was making weird noises. Don't tell my mummy.
Well, your mummy knows that it's making weird noises.
No, but don't tell my mummy that I took it without asking. I don't want my mummy to be mad at me, please.
Well, the problem is, Sonny, it was mine.
I'm sorry, Edie.
That's my box. And I'm sorry I left it in a place that you noticed and it was interesting and you wanted to find out, but I wish you would have asked me about it instead.
It was making weird noises, that's why I took it.
I know,
I wanted it to
sorry.
stop making the weird noises.
I want it to stop making the weird noises as well, but there's been a lot going on.
How can you carry on with the noises that it's making? It's really weird.
Generally, not being in the kitchen.
Well, I could hear it while I was sleeping.
I'm very sorry. And it must be awful for Rodney as well, being in there. I tell you what.
It's like a rhythm to it.
Is that different to what it was? But no, because you said before it was like a right?
It's still just making a vroom noise.
Yes, you're right.
It sounds broken.
Do you think?
Yeah, it doesn't sound right.
I want to make sure that we start walking back into the mercenary company, so we're not having this conversation fully on the street.
Yeah. Lucian's just sort of holding Sonny like this or walking in.
Well, we'll just sort of like gently sort of indicate to you and start walking back inside with it, trying not to make it look like a big deal. But
she's sort of given up on trying to fight, getting out of this grip. Just like,
I'm pretty sure my hand is as big as her head. So
but she's still holding on to it tightly. So I just wanted to make it stop. Really loud and broken and not comfortable to listen to.
Oh, I'm really sorry, sweetheart. I know it's very mean of me to
Is she manipulating Elodie? Is she like
You're all an insight check.
trying to make Elodie feel guilty so she doesn't get in trouble? That's a natural one.
I thought you were going to go the opposite way.
This child is inscrutable.
Oh wait, make a deception check or a persuasion.
She seems genuinely hurt and concerned about it, but she's holding on to it tightly. She's like, I just wanted to get rid of it. I'm sorry. I was gonna put it in the water to get rid of it.
Oh no, unfortunately we can't get rid of it just yet. It's actually important to some of the things we're trying to figure out. And
can you fix it then?
I want to fix it. Yes, it is on my to-do list for today, my very long to-do list for today. But do you remember last night the lady was not very well that came in?
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember her. Is she okay?
She's getting better, yes, but some people were very nasty to her yesterday, and we were going to just nip out and have a little look around the area that we think that they might have met her, and just check to see if we can find anything out. And then I was going to come back and look at it and try and figure out how to make it stop making that noise. Could you? I know it's really, really annoying. What were your plans for today? Were you going to school?
I'm going to school in a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I tell you what. Could you do me a massive favour and put it back in the fridge, because that is the safest place for it, and it's quieter in the fridge because the fridge has got a big heavy door. And until you go to school, could you look after it and make sure no one comes to steal it? And then once you're at school, you won't hear it anymore because it'll still be here. Don't take it to school. Leave it here in the fridge, and Rodney can look after it. Then.
Could you repeat some of that again? Because I couldn't hear you over it. It's really noisy.
Okay, well, if you hand it to me.
Hands it to you.
Okay. And is going to sort of shove it into her coat and try and muffle it a little bit. I'm going to put it back in the fridge. And then when you go to school, you won't hear it because you'll be at school. Okay?
Okay.
But before you leave for school this morning, could you make sure nobody touches it? Could you protect it for me? Because it's very important and it might help us get your grandfather back. Solomon's not your grandfather. It
No.
might help us get Solomon back.
Oh, okay.
And then, if you manage to look after it properly, I will go to the bakery and I will bring you some cookies as payment
Ooh,
for
okay.
being its guard.
Okay. Thank you. I guess, okay, I can do that until I go to school.
I'm sorry it's hurt you.
It hurts my ears. It'd be fine if it wasn't so broken. It's like
What
a
makes
song.
you think it's broken?
It's like a broken song. And I can't. It just doesn't sound right.
How do you think it should sound?
More complete. It's like it has a. You know when they play the music, she sort of does the hand gestures, and one of the strings breaks, and it makes that noise. Yeah, that one. It's like that, and then it restarts, and it does that again. It does the same thing, same noise over and over again. And then the whang noise. And it hurts a lot.
Does she actually look physically...
She looks like she's physically in pain, yeah.
But no one else has been affected by it in this way?
No. Nobody else has mentioned anything about hearing it, other than the noise. Nobody else has mentioned about hearing anything.
Rodney?
Yeah?
Could you
Rodney
take
comes
this
up the kitchen.
Could you take this and pop this back in the fridge for me, please? I'm really sorry. I'm going to deal with it this afternoon. We've just got to nip out and do a little errand for Lucian's friend.
Yeah, sure. It's vibrating a little bit, and
I'm so sorry. It's
watch
annoying.
as Sonny does visibly wince a little bit, but it's not annoying to me. It's just vibrating a little bit, and he goes in, and you hear the chiller door shut. So he's put it away. Sonny stops wincing a little bit, but
Go ahead.
Do you want to deal with this? I can go. I'll be fine.
I suppose. I mean, after what happened to Celia, it feels, I don't know, dangerous to split up.
I'm surprisingly difficult to stab, so...
That does not surprise me.
But if this is bothering you and bothering her, maybe you should deal with it.
How long before, what time is it compared to what time Sonny would usually leave for school?
Sonny's probably going to leave for school in about an hour.
Oh, right, okay. So quite a while still.
It's about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm most likely not going to find anything. I'm certainly not going to find one of Celia's drops. I'm gonna have a look.
I think it's a good idea. Perhaps I can catch up with you if you want to go right now.
Yeah, just don't come alone. If you're going to come out,
No, that was my concern.
I'll come back. I'm just going to go to the where it happened, and then maybe go speak to Crag and see what he might know about the docks. But apart from that, I won't be long.
Okay. Has Lila ever mentioned anything about the equivalent of sending stones or anything like that? Any sort of quick communication devices? I suppose not, otherwise we might have used them already.
She wouldn't have mentioned it, but you would know from being a student that there are sending stone items like sending stones do exist. But you've not seen any since you've been here.
Yeah, but I know where we might be able to find some though. Stupid tempting shop. I've not had time to look in yet.
Mwah.
I'm not sure how good I feel about you going out on your own, Lucian. If you could maybe wait just a little bit, just while I just wanted to have a little chat with Sunny and just have a little check over, and then we can crack on.
All right.
Can I have a little look at Sunny in like an arcana way, to see if there's any sort of, I don't know, magicalness about her that has been affected by this buzzing?
Yeah, I'll get you to make an arcana check.
I also obviously know that Sunny is not Hera's biological child, but obviously it had quite an effect on Hera before, or it was drawn to her. I also have a question about, where is my features? Does this proc my Hunter's Bane feature where I have advantage on checks about on intelligence abilities to figure out information about Fae, fiends, or undead?
Well, Fae don't exist. They do in a way, but not in the sort of Feywild sort of sense of things. So animal folk would potentially fall under the Fae category in terms of game stats. So I would say yes, you could roll with advantage on that intelligence check.
Okay. Those were terrible rolls. That's an 11 then.
An 11. So with an 11 on an arcana check to see if Sunny is maybe magically connected to this. Doesn't seem to be that way. However, with the 11, what I will give you is that Sunny didn't complain about the sound when the ether was first brewed, but seems to have complained about it since it's been frozen.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Rodney?
Yeah?
Could we try putting the box in Solomon's office, in his safe box, please?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. And he takes it out of the freezer and puts it in the office.
So it's still in a muffled, behind a heavy door and muffled.
Yeah.
For the literal auditory, but it's not going to be kept cold. I want to see if that's going to make a difference to you. I guess we'll see later when you come back from school.
Okay. I remembered now. It sounds like a broken chorus. That's the type of music that it sounds like. It's that particular part of a song that repeats over and over again in the song. I couldn't remember what they called it, but it's like a broken chorus.
Uh-huh.
And that's what's hurting.
Do you have any nursery rhymes that you like to sing?
There's one that my mummy used to sing to me. Not my mummy, but my mummy.
Mm-hmm. Can you remember it?
I can. And she would do that to you, because trying to think of a nursery rhyme
I'm not
isn't
expecting
Twinkle
you to
Twinkle
make
Little Star off the top of my head. Do she'll sort of hum that to you.
Mm-hmm. That was really lovely.
Thank you.
If that noise was going to be a nursery rhyme, what do you think it would be about?
A big hero, I think. Is how I see it. It's how my mummy used to tell it.
And what about the... Okay, and what about the noise, the buzzing noise, that you said is the broken chorus?
Mm-hmm.
If that was a nursery rhyme, what do you think it would be about?
Bad things.
Okay. We'll just sort of clock Lucian's eye. Do you know anything more? Any particular type of bad things? Bad people or creatures or items or...
Is that aimed at Sunny or Lucian?
I'm still talking to Sunny, but just sort of
Okay.
clocking eyes with Lucian. Like, there's something up here.
I know there's bad people. There's bad people that took my mummy and daddy away from me.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also good people that gave me my mummy. So, yes, no, maybe, I don't know.
Okay. I tell you what. While you're at school today, focus on your lessons, obviously. But
Yes.
if you start to think of the tune that the buzzing noise, the broken buzzing noise should be, if you start to think of what that song should be, write it down and tell me later when we see each other.
Okay,
That would be really helpful.
okay, I'll do that.
And then we can have story time later as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
She sort of not feigns a smile, but gives off a little smile to that. And then she sort of runs off upstairs to get ready for school.
I think just before she does, we'll kind of, again, sort of gently sort of pat her on the shoulder, and then Elodie's going to try, like this is the first time that she has physically mentally tried to heal, knowing that she can. I might do a little throw to see if it works when she actually focuses to do it. Yeah. So yeah, Sunny will get, I don't know if you've put a number on her taking psychic damage, but she'll receive a wave of sort of 6 points worth of like a warm, glowing feeling
You
of healing.
watch as that warm glow takes over her a bit, and she closes her eyes, and a big smile comes across her face. And as she carries on running upstairs, imagine if you rolled like a natural 1 and actually did a damaging spell instead.
Well, fortunately, I don't actually have any spells
Oh, okay.
yet.
Okay, so I'm very, very conscious of time.
Yes.
So, but I'd like to find out what you're both going to do now.
Head out to the scene of the pub.
Okie dokie. Right, so you can head over to the Rusty Pirate. From last night, looking outside, Lucian, you could see the blood led down to where the Rusty Pirate is, and then went round a corner down towards where. And the only way that you could go, if you go around the corner and go down from the Rusty Pirate, is the docks. So both of you could make a perception or investigation check when you get to that sort of area where Lucian's vision of the blood previously had cut off, to see if there's anything that you spot.
Okay, dirty 20.
Nice. 15.
Nice. 15. Okay, so with the 15, I shall start with that. Elodie, you do not spot any more. There's no blood anywhere. It's not whoever or whatever has cleaned the blood up has done a really good job on it. You can definitely tell that there's been no natural reason for it to disappear. There's been no rain or anything like that. For you, Lucian, with a dirty 20, you come to the same conclusion. However, there is something that does catch the corner of your eye as you look at the wall of the building that's opposite the Rusty Pirate. There is what looks to be basically like some chicken scratch, not carved but drawn with some sort of chalk or something on the corner of the building, and you recognise that as Celia's sort of like iconography that she uses for marking locations and stuff. And you can follow that because it seems to be, you would know the symbol to be an arrow, and it's pointing down towards the docks. And you carry on, you can follow it all the way down to the docks if you so wish.
Let's do it.
Mm.
You follow it all the way down to the docks, and the docks is bustling and busy, and there's people everywhere. There's no ships in the dock at the minute. The Golden Maiden that was there the day prior has now left. So it's just people getting stuff ready for the next ship that comes in. You follow these symbols around. So as you go down into the dock area, you have to make a left to keep following that wall around. And that wall eventually stops and leads to a more natural formation of rock that leads up to where you can just see the roof of the mercenary company. And where that natural rocks sort of starts, where the man-made wall or the humanoid wall ends and all of the docking area ends, is a beach. And the beach goes on for probably 2 or 3 miles, and you can see the mountain range off in the distance. And with that 20 and the 15 sort of combined together, you can see footsteps that lead off into the sands. And there is a sign that says, "Beware drowners."
Oh.
Of course, Celia would put it over there.
I mean, is that her handwriting? Do you think she's put the sign up just to scare people off?
I don't know what that sign says, but all of the markings have pointed that direction.
Oh gosh,
And
Lucian,
didn't
I'm
they
so
say there was
sorry.
a load of issues with monsters in the water or something? There was like a job, or it would be too difficult.
They did say that, yes. I'm so sorry for giving you a book to read before.
How are you supposed to know?
I shouldn't have assumed.
No, it's from what I understand, it's pretty rare for anybody to be illiterate these days. I guess I am a little embarrassed, but I don't let it stop me.
Well, if you ever want to start learning, I can help with that.
That's very kind, but I'm actually relatively old now, and I don't know if new tricks are something I'm interested in.
Fair enough. Okay, well, it says beware drowners.
Hmm.
Can I just say, by the way, very exciting and very cool that you have a secret language that you both share, that you both know.
You'd figure it out pretty quickly.
Well, no, but it's a nice thing to have with someone, a secret language.
You could, yeah. I learned it in prison.
Oh.
It's pretty, yeah. Got to keep the guards on their toes, don't you?
I suppose so.
So are we going, or are we going to have to be clever and smart and not put our citizens in danger and wait for everybody else? Because I really, really wouldn't mind punching something.
I mean, Josh, do I remember much about drowners? Are they an only come out at night situation?
You could. I'm not going to get you to roll for it because they're quite a common occurrence across all of Idorune. So you would have even heard stories about them in Abercathis. Drowners are creatures that live in the sea, in the shallows, should I say, which is the bit of water that surrounds the continent that could still be sailed, that doesn't go off into the deep sea. They're not nocturnal in any sort of way. They will come out as and when. A bit like a shark, really. They're like, if you think of like, they sort of prowl in it. They prowl in areas and attack anything that enters the water, basically.
Mm-hmm. But this path
beach.
leads specifically above the water, you said, right?
It's an entire beach that has a water that beach with water that
A beach with water.
a beach with water. Yes,
Wild.
It's a beach that connects to the sea, is what I'm trying to say. Brain fried.
No, it's fine. I think in my brain, when you were describing it, I might have gone off and pictured my own thing. I thought you said that it was like a path that leads up, so it's kind of more in a cliff face rather than actually on the beachfront itself.
You can see the nearby mountain, one of the nearby mountain ranges in the distance where the beach leads to.
Well, I mean, how far along would she have got, really? It might just be, 100 meters or so in.
How quick are you?
I can be very quick.
If you can be very quick,
Can you?
For a big lad, I can shift it when I need to. All I'm saying is, from what I understand, we're probably not capable of fighting anything down here if it attacks us, so we're going to have to run away very quickly. But the two rules is if you trip, you're on your own. And remember, we don't have to outrun the thing, we just have to outrun each other if it goes wrong.
That's an incredibly grim way of looking at it.
Yeah, well, you gotta have the rules, because we can't have all this, go on without me, or any of that. We need to be clear about the rules of combat if we're together.
Lucian, if you fall down, I'm not leaving without you.
That's a very silly thing to do. Okay.
But you're important, and you know things, and who is going to punch people in town if they attack me?
Eddie.
So,
No. All I'm going to say is, if danger comes, we run. And it'll be fine. And if it's not, then it's not. But we need that buck. And we need it soon.
I agree.
And also our game, if we can take down some drowners, we'll come back roided up, like 5 levels above everybody else. Steal all the XP.
I mean, we literally have only a couple of minutes left of this session, but sure, let's go.
So everybody else is fighting the big bad, and we're just scrapping with drowners. Grinding.
Plus, there was that incident that you weren't there for that we've really not had time to properly decompress about or discuss, but I think sometimes I can fly.
That is a really handy skill.
I need to think about it, though. I'm not entirely sure. It might be an Aravis thing.
I don't know what that is, but I also don't know if I've said enough, but all of you guys are fucking weird.
Oh.
Right, like, in a good way, but also, like, a very strange way. Like, the amount of weirdness that is going on in this one group of people is not normal.
Oh. It was actually very nice the other night to discover that everyone else had their own thing going on, as someone who has been told her entire life not to tell anyone.
No. Secrets burn away at the soul like nothing else. It's not very good for most people.
But you don't consider yourself most people.
No, but I don't really keep secrets.
Don't you?
No, people just don't ask me questions.
Oh.
There's a very big difference.
Does Celia know how you feel about her?
No, I don't really feel anything.
Oh. You brushed her hair aside very, very tenderly.
Yeah, she's a good... I don't really have and haven't had any very sort of strong connections with anybody. I was on my own for a very, very long time. So the people I've got, I don't entirely know how okay I'd be if they weren't there.
I have been on my own for a very, very long time as well. And the people I have met in the last 3 days, 4 days, gosh, only 4 days.
Only 4 days. Let that sink in.
But they, including yourself, as much as you like to stay aloof from everyone else, have been there for me in a way that only these guys have been previously. So, she's obviously just pointed to the thin air behind her.
You know, that's a shame on all of those people. But it's also not your problem. You just be you. You just enjoy you.
So if you fall down, I'm not leaving without you. Come on then. She grabs your hand and starts running.
Yeah, alright. Let's go die to drowners.
Hey, you're going towards the drowners?
We're off for a swim.
We're not going specifically towards them. We're looking for the signs and the symbols.
If we do that thing and we like build a massive sandcastle, right? And then we funnel each of the drowners in one at a time, we can slowly grind each one of them out for XP. That's how this game works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those types of games. Okay.
Also,
I will say, actually, as she grabs your hand and says, let's go, it's not Elodie that says it because she's swiftly downed the Solarimus potion. So it's actually Solarimus that says, come along then, old chap, let's go.
fucking hell.
As you grab each other's hands and run off onto the sand, and we sort of do that whole pictured silhouette thing of you two running.
Yeah. No, the beautiful silhouette of us running on the beach and then like 20 figures like crawling out of the water behind us, chasing after us.
I mean, look, as soon as they start coming out of the water, we're running away. The point was not to properly stop and fight. It's to just like see how far we can get, if we can find it. And if the drowners come, then we run away. That was the point.
Make me both of you can make a perception check.
We need that book.
You know what I have just done though? I've boosted my dexterity at the expense of wisdom's. Oh, it's wisdom saving throws actually, so my perception is not affected yet.
I rolled a 17.
Nice.
What's the rolls? It's gonna go as soon as we're with the group again. I'm gonna be like back down to nat ones again.
Well, I started out well, and it's been decidedly average since. So I rolled a 10.
10.
Perception.
Okay. So
But could it be investigation?
you can make it investigation if you like.
That's 15.
Nice.
Okay. So 15 and 17. So I'll do two different things. So the perception is going to be to look out for drowners. And you get probably about 100 feet into the beach before, Lucian, you start clocking the water bobbling and moving and these figures rising out of the water and making their way towards you. These figures are grotesque looking. They look like they may have once been humanoid, but they've got bits of flesh falling off of them. They've got webbed fingers, fins that go from the center of their forehead right down to the base of their backs. Some of them look more Sahuagin-like than humanoid-like, but they are completely undead. And they begin sort of shambling their way towards you. So you're going to have enough time to get away, but there's a lot of them. With the investigation check of 15, as you get that 100 feet in and the mountain range is a bit clearer to you, you can see that there is a cave that is on the cusp of the edge of the beach that the sea seems to be flowing into, and the tide's quite high up so that you can just see the cave at the minute. Before you then think, shit, I need to run back.
Okay, so doable. Might be better by boat.
Or low tide.
Or low tide.
Hmm.
Or
Sorry,
not
or
when
low
there's
tide.
hundreds of undead zombie things running towards us.
I really want to punch one. All right, let's go.
Well, no, if you want to be heroic about it, you can always run and then punch the closest one as we get towards the edge.
But and I'll rage and punch one.
Go ahead and rage and punch one while I just quickly get their stats up.
I told you I wanted to punch something, Josh.
That's fine. I'll let you punch something.
Recklessly, obviously. That's a 19.
So 19 will hit.
A bonk.
A bonk.
For 9 points of damage.
Okay, so as you sort of punch this thing in the face, you completely dislocate its jaw. It sort of swings around a bit before lugging down on its chest. And as you carry on running, it's going to get an opportunity attack against you as you run out of its threat range. So it is going to attack you once.
If it's looking quite damaged as we're running, can I also shoot it? Just in case we take it down so it doesn't get the opportunity attack.
You can shoot it if you'd like to.
Josh was like, I wasn't expecting combat today. That's a mere 12, actually.
12 is its AC.
Ha
Haha.
I don't think so, chap. Maybe not chap. I don't know. This doesn't feel like the time to investigate. Where is my D10? Come here. That's a D100. Where is my actual D10?
D100.
There it is. Huh. Okay. That is 8 damage.
8 damage as
The
you
bullet pew
point
pews.
and shoot at it. It hits it in the abdomen area and blows out a chunk of it. It's still going, still coming towards you as it makes this attack against Lucian. That is a 16 to hit.
That just hits.
Okay, so this is going to be...
Meets the beats. A meets that beats.
So that's 9 points of slashing damage, and I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh no.
Is your 9s half to 4?
Will be half to 4 because of rage.
And this, folks, is how Lucian became a zombie.
Oh, good. That's a 16.
16, you're fine. You do feel your muscles start to tense up and lock into place, but you're able to sort of shake that off and carry on running. You may have learned something about the drowners, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got a bite.
If
Then,
you feel that if you'd failed that, you may have been frozen in the spot.
Great.
That just sounds like fun. I'm the worst when I play a barbarian because I play a barbarian.
As you both are you both making your way back to Solomon's?
Yeah.
So all of that investigating and everything would have, I know we sort of glossed over it a little bit, would have taken pretty much the majority of the day to do. You get up back to Solomon's just as the sun's starting to set, and you can go inside. Everybody else is back, and is not everybody else. Udric's there, Tally's there, Lilla's there, Sunny's there, but Perry, Bram, and Hira are not there just yet. As you sort of get yourselves situated and begin to sort of sit down for dinner as Rodney's bringing food out, you hear the back door open, and coming through the back door is Bram, Perry, and Hira, and they are carrying large rats on their backs that are, if you were to look at them closely, they are mutated by Aether. And just as they walk in, and before any conversations can happen, because, you know, when we're going to have those conversations, there is a loud knock on the door. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Sorry it's gone on a little bit longer, but want to make sure that we got everything in. And plus, I love watching the roleplay, so I don't like interrupting it and saying we must finish. So I like letting things end naturally. So if you like what you've seen and you want to see more roleplay like that, you can catch us on Mondays and Tuesdays from 6 p.m. UK time for more Dungeons and Dragons. Or you can come and find us on Wednesdays now from 6 p.m. UK time, where we do a live world building or non-D&D game, depending on how things stack up. So you can find all of that on Twitch. You can find us on YouTube and podcast by searching Roll Together RPG. If you like what you see and you are watching us on YouTube, please do consider leaving us a like, subscribing to the channel, commenting. It helps the algorithm tell us what it is you like, so we know what to make more of. Massive thank you to the D20 Club on Patreon. They are fantastic. They are the best. You can join them from as little as one of your local currency per month, or one goat, which must be sent to Tom. Links will be in the chat or in the description below. And massive thank you to our sponsors and supporters. We will, with all that, I think we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.